kick the extra point in. The snap, the hold is good, the kick is up, and that is good. So Gannon strikes first, something we had never seen until last week when California was able to strike first against Edinboro. Gannon on the board first with 7 points. Just over 9 minutes to go here. We're going to be right back. We'll take a quick 30-second break. You are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
If you want to stay on top of your health, one simple thing to do
is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up to cancer and take the pledge at getscreenednow.org.
It only takes a minute to take care of yourself, and
nothing rhymes with org.
Talk to your doctor about your health and screenings that are right for you.
Welcome back to Edinboro University, Sox Harrison Stadium, where the Edinboro Fighting Scots are going to battle with the Gannon Golden Knights. And Gannon Golden Knights so far, the first leg up in the competition.
Yeah, the Golden Knights wasted no time to score the first touchdown on their very first drive. And now it's up to Edinboro to respond and tie the game with a touchdown of their own.
Yeah, after negative 26 rushing yards last week, Gannon coming back with a potent running offense. Marcus Jones, he's only had 4 rushes, already 21 yards. He had only 22 at the end of last week. He's averaging 5 yards a run. And that touchdown, of course, being scored by Jason Dombach. So Edinboro's kickoff return team will make their second appearance. Gannon is going to be kicking from the 50-yard line because of that penalty on the touchdown play against Edinboro. So this kick, a good chance it'll just go out. Zarel Hendrick, Kyle Galick, the returners are lined up right on their own goal line, essentially saying, if you kick it over our heads, we're not even going to bother returning it. The kick is up, it is high, it is deep, and Galick will let it go right over his head. It is kicked all the way out of bounds. It'll be a touchback for Edinboro to start their second drive of the game.
Yes, I know the last one, it didn't go what Edinboro expected. Now there's not too late to redeem themselves from the very first drive. They can thread the needle if they can make better plays against the Golden Knights.
The Fighting Scots going to start their drive from the 25-yard line, the ball getting placed on the near hash as we see it, and also as we see it, the Edinboro Fighting Scots are moving left to right. If you are looking at your radio dial, left to right, Gannon defending the right side. Edinboro has not gotten into Gannon's territory yet. They come out, their first play, 3 receivers far side, 1 near side, Walter Fletcher to Andrew Tomko's right. Fletcher takes off to the right, is a quick pass in the flat to Walter Fletcher, runs down the sideline. He goes out of bounds, and after he goes out of bounds, gets hit hard. That was number 2 on Gannon side, Martell Davis, the redshirt senior. A hard chip shot on Walter Fletcher after he went out of bounds, and a flag immediately go flying.
There's no doubt in our minds that this will be an automatic first down, and I think they're going to be in Gannon's territory with that penalty.
So Walter Fletcher had made it all the way down to the 42-yard line, and he will get an extra 15 yards on the run. Sorry, he made it to the 40-yard line. He'll get an extra 15 yards, so it's a first down and more. And I just mentioned they hadn't made it into Gannon's territory. And because I said that, on the first play, they end up in Gannon's territory. 2 receivers either side now for Andrew Tomko. Walter Fletcher to his left. Gannon showing a little bit of pressure. They do bring that pressure. Tomko looking for the quick pass. It bounces off Gannon's defender, his defensive lineman Jay Bullock, and pops back in the air. Andrew Tomko saying no thank you and swats it back down so no one has a chance to get the interception. With 9 minutes to go, Gannon leading 7-0. 9 minutes to go in the first quarter, rather.
Yeah, good job by Bullock just to make sure that Tomko doesn't make a long throw to one of his receivers. Now there's three receivers to the far side, one to the right, and it looks like A.J. Turner's moving motion behind the line.
Tomko takes a snap, hands it off to Walter Fletcher, doesn't find a hole up the middle, looks to bounce it outside, doesn't see a hole on the outside, looks to go back up the middle. He gets hit, but he falls forward. It'll be a gain of about 1, 3rd and 9 for Edinboro.
Again, defensive line, just to make sure to contain Walter Fletcher. He only gained about 1 yard on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 9, right about probably either the 44 to 45 yard line Gannon's territory. So they have to convert this 3rd down if they want to keep this drive alive.
2 receivers either side for Andrew Tomko. 3rd and 9 from Gannon's own 44-yard line. Andrew Tomko with Walter Fletcher to his right, takes the snap, drops back, looks down the middle of the field, looks down the sideline for James Clark, but he'll throw it way over his head and out of bounds. They will not convert on the 3rd down, and we will see if Edinboro sends out the punt team.
Yeah, I think the pass just fell a little short from Tomko to Clark, and if he threads the needle to Clark, then that'll be not only a big first down, but probably a touchdown that would tie the game. And it looks like Edinboro's going to go for it, but I'm not sure if they're really going to go for it. And if Tomko doesn't go for it, there he is. He's going to go for a punt.
The punt, a low line drive, it will go out of bounds before it lands, and we will rule where it went out. They're going to say it went out at about the 23-yard line. Gannon will start from within their own 25. Not a bad punt by Andrew Tomko, keeping the ball out of Gannon's hands on the return.
Yeah, he done a very good job with those punts throughout the whole season so far. Now it's up to the defense if they can make a big stop against Gannon and hopefully give the ball back to the Fighting Scots offense.
Edinboro comes out immediately. Their defense does. Gannon takes a second in the huddle to talk over what they're going to do when this drive begins from their own 23-yard line. Just over 8 minutes to go. They're leading 7-0. They'll come out 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Marcus Jones to Dombach's right. There is a tight end lined up just behind the offensive line. Looks like he's hiding almost. They will hand it off. No, they will fake the handoff. It was Marcus Jones who was hiding behind the offensive line. He took off to the left. They faked the handoff and then threw it to him in the flat. He made the catch and got about 2 yards on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 8 now for Gannon. A little bit of trick play there almost.
Yeah, I think number 26, Melvin Blanks, was on Dombach's right before the play.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Marcus Jones almost ducking behind the offensive line, trying to make Edinboro forget that he was there.
But they couldn't fool the Edinboro's defense and made a good stop on that play.
3 receivers far side, sends one of them in motion back towards the offensive line. But it will be a handoff to Marcus Jones. There's a flag on the play. Marcus Jones gets through the middle, gets brought down by Trey Hall, Zaril Hendrick, and friends. It'll be a gain of probably about 3 yards on the play, but we'll have to see what this flag is.
And it's an offside penalty against Edinboro, so that'll be like a 5-yard penalty. And it'll be still a 2nd down for the Golden Knights, so it'll about be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, so they essentially act as though the down never happened, move the ball 5 yards, so we'll do it again. So like you said, 2nd and 3 from Gannon's 30-yard line. They'll come out 2 receivers far side, the tight end on the far side, 1 receiver near side, and a running back to Dombach's left. Dombach reads Edinboro's defense. Take the snap. He's going to keep the ball after faking the handoff to Marcus Jones. He's making his way to the sideline, stiff-arming Brandon Anderson, but he will get pushed out of bounds with a little bit of help from Zaril Hendrick. It would be a gain of about 0, 3rd and 3 for Gannon.
Yeah, the Edinboro's defense were so close to make a good tackle on Jones, but at the same time trying to trick the defense from the option play. A good job by Hendricks and another Edinboro player to force Dombach forced out of bounds, and it's now 3rd down and 3, still at the 30-yard line in their own territory.
2 receivers far side, 2 near side now. Just under 7 minutes to go. Gannon leading 7-0. Marcus Jones to Dombach's right. He will take off to the right. It'll be a quick screen pass almost. He gets hit once, hits twice. It'll take an army of about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different red jerseys to bring down Marcus Jones, but they do bring him down for a loss. It'll be a 4th and about 5 for Gannon, and they'll send out the punt team here.
That's the stop you want as an Edinboro defensive player. Since they forced out about like a 3 and out, well, technically not, but either way, Edinboro will get the football back and looking to score to even against the Golden Knights.
The punt team out for Gannon. The ball placed on the far hash. They have just one gunner on the near side of the line. The punt is low. It bounces once. Earl Hendrick will take it. Looks right, bounces over to the left, finds a big hole. He breaks a couple tackles. He'll make it all the way back to midfield. He started that return from the 34-yard line and gets all the way down to, they're going to say, the 49-yard line. Excellent field position here for the Fighting Scots on this drive.
Yeah, that's a very good return by Hendrick. And I thought he was going to return all the way for a touchdown because he finds some open holes. But somehow he was stopped by the Gannon special teams. And that'll be a first down, and like you said, at the 49-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
Edinboro's offense making their way out to the field. Just under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Gannon leading 7-0. Edinboro will start out 3 receivers on the near side, none on the far side. Walter Fletcher to Tomko's right. They'll send one in motion, but hand it off to Walter Fletcher, who goes up the middle, breaks through a line of offensive and defensive linemen, pushes through. The linebackers thought he was down, so had given up on the play, but then in their second effort will make the tackle. But Walter Fletcher with the 10-yard gain will get the first down, and they are inside Gannon's territory now on Gannon's 41-yard line, and we've got a player down on in Gannon's backfield.
Yeah, that'll be number 5, Dorian Jones, on the ground. And give a little analysis on the play. Nice job by Fletcher. He didn't quit. He kept driving his feet through a big pile of Gannon Golden Knights and get a big chunk of yards, and it'll be another first down for Edinboro at the 41-yard line in Gannon's territory.
Yeah, the best way Gannon's defense could have possibly prepared for this game was simply having Marcus Jones, trying to tackle Marcus Jones, because Walter Fletcher is just as hard to bring down. He does not go down on the first hit. He sometimes doesn't even go down on the second hit. He can be extremely tough to bring down, and arm tackles will not do the trick, and that's the exact same story with Marcus Jones on Gannon's side.
And looks like we have like a TV timeout right now, but not to worry.
Yeah, sorry, our timing is a little bit off just because this game is being broadcast on ESPN3, so we will have some media timeouts. And we're going to go ahead and take a timeout with them. We're going to take a quick 30-second break here. You are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
The Edinboro Sports Network provides live coverage of Fighting Scots sports on the campus radio station at 88.9 WFSC, streaming live at edinboronow.com, and available on mobile devices via TuneIn Radio and Nobex Radio. This game broadcast is supported in part by John's Wildwood Pizzeria, open daily at 105 Erie Street in Edinboro. For eat-in, delivery, or takeout, John's menu includes pizza, hoagies, wings, salads, and more. Information is at 814-734-7355 or on the web at johnswildwoodpizza.com.
Welcome back to Edinboro University. It is a great day for football. It is in the high 50s and will not go any higher. And I'm wearing a jacket, so I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, I don't feel bad as well. I'm wearing a hoodie over my dress shirt and tie. Right now it's first down and 10 for Edinboro. 3 receivers to the near side. Fletcher to Tomko's left.
They look to the sideline for the play call. Looks like they may have seen something they didn't like on the play call. Fletcher will switch over to the right side. Tomko takes a snap, fakes the handoff to Fletcher running to the left. He'll go up the middle, but will get brought down immediately at the line of scrimmage for a gain of 0. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Edinboro.
Yeah, Edinboro's doing their version of the option play. Tomko trying to trick the defensive line to focus on Fletcher, but the Golden Knights were not fooled, and they are focused on Tomko on the football.
3 receivers near side now, none on the far side. There's a tight end on the far side for Edinboro. Fletcher to Tomko's left. Tomko drops back, looks right, then looks left for Walter Fletcher, but read easily by Gannon's secondary. It is intercepted. They'll make his way all the way back to the 40. He will get hit hard twice in order to come down. And I believe that is Dorian Jones, the redshirt junior, who we just saw laying on the field for an extended period of time, coming up with a huge interception for Gannon there.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening. It looked like supposed to be like a screenplay, sort of like a screenplay, and then Tomko trying to throw an open receiver, but it was well covered, and then number 5, Dorian Jones made the interception. It'll be first down and 10 at the 4-yard line in their own territory.
Yeah, they tried to look right and have Walter Fletcher go left, so try to throw off the secondary, but it just didn't quite work. 2 receivers either side. They send the inside slot receiver on the far side in motion. It's a fake handoff. Dombach will look to the sideline and find a receiver who makes the catch, and before he's brought down, drops the ball, but the referees will say probably that he stepped out of bounds before dropping the ball. He made it all the way down to Edinboro's 45-yard line, so it'll be first and 10 again for Gannon. And that was DeJuan Walker with the reception. We've had a little bit of trouble finding his name because he's not listed on the roster. But we did find it for you, and we will use it for the rest of the game.
And it looks like DeJuan Walker will be heading to the sideline. And number 10, Richard Makowski. And what's interesting, though, Makowski is from Kollwitz, Germany, playing for a local area college football team right now.
2 receivers either side for Dombach. Marcus Jones to his right. They are placed on the far hash, moving right to left. Dombach takes a snap. He hands it off to Marcus Jones, who gets to the line and not much more. So we will be looking at second and 10 for Gannon, still at Edinboro's 49-yard line.
And there's a flag right about the 32-yard line at Edinboro's territory. We'll see what will be the penalty will be.
It's going to be a personal foul, hands to the face on Zeril Hendricks. Zeril Hendricks, a cornerback, and that flag, like Luke mentioned, in Edinboro's backfield. On a running play like that, you don't want to get called on something like hands to the face when you're not directly involved in the play. So the clock ticking away, just under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Gannon leading 7-0 still inside Edinboro's territory. 2 receivers either side spread out for Jason Dombach. He'll take the snap, look left for a pass, throws it over the hands of Tiger Winston, the sophomore wide receiver for Gannon. That'll be incomplete. It'll be second and 1 for Gannon.
A good job by number 24, Maurice Sims, on covering Winston, and it was a little over his head, and it's probably second down and 10 at the 29-yard line in Edinboro's territory, so that's a good play for the Edinboro's defense.
So they initially were lined up 2 receivers either side, then they swapped everyone's position, so it's now 2 near side, 1 far side, and one of them lined up behind the offensive line. They've now got 3 receivers on the far side. Marcus Jones attempting to go up the middle, then bounces it out to the outside after getting hit. He's making it all the way down to the 5. It's a touchdown again for Gannon on a huge 30-yard run from Marcus Jones.
Yeah, for Jones, he was right into the pile of the offensive line, and then he found a big hole to the right side, rolled around to the outside, and that was another huge touchdown run by Marcus Jones. That's why he's a tough player to tackle, because he never gives up on every play. And now it's 13-0 Gannon over Edinboro at his homecoming football.
Brian Streibel, the kicker, the freshman kicker for Gannon, out to kick the extra point. Dombach is the holder. The kick is up. Not quite as strong. It'll be good, though. 14-0 Gannon. 3 minutes, 28 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Edinboro, the coaches are going to have to talk to the defense and see what they need to do to get back on track, and to the offense as well. While they do that, we're going to go ahead and take a 1-minute break. Here, you are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Edinboro University here at Sox Harrison Stadium. As we've got fans all over the place, the stands on Edinboro's side are packed. There is nowhere to sit. Don't even try. If you do end up showing up, there are grassy areas around the stadium, or you can sit on Gannon's side if you like. The grassy areas, of course, people out on blankets. It's a great day for football, and people are making the most of it here. Gannon is making the most of it between the two teams so far. They're leading 14-0 with just 3.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
And I want to point out, between the records between both teams, just because Gannon is 0-4 so far this season, it doesn't mean that Edinboro should not go easy on them. You should play 100% on every play, and that's what the Golden Knights are doing. They want to win this football game. They don't care what the record is. They just want to go hard and play every step of the way. And that Edinboro should do the same thing too. They have to go play well against the Golden Knights.
The kick from Brian Strabel is up. It will be fielded by Kyle Galick at Edinboro's own 5-yard line. He will be led in front by Zarel Hendrick, who's looking back. Kyle Galick is still there. A push on a defender from Zarel Hendrick. Kyle Galick's at the 30, on Gannon's side to the 20. He's got some defenders on him. He will eventually get brought down at Gannon's own 17-yard line. A huge return from Kyle Galick.
Yeah, that definitely reminds me of Tanas Gregory's ability. A good job for Galick finding big holes on the kickoff return. I thought he was going to run all the way for a touchdown to cut the deficit to about like 6 or 7 points. And either way, great field position for the Fighting Scots. They're like about the 17-yard line in Gannon's territory. So they're looking to capitalize on that kickoff return.
Yeah, a huge return from Kyle Galick, who we know has some crazy speed. He is, of course, a member of Edinboro's track and field team when he's not playing football. Edinboro will come out 3 receivers far side, send one of them in motion towards the near side, but will hand off to Walter Fletcher running to the right side of the line. He'll get through and get about 2 yards, maybe 3 yards.
And the Edinboro defense are trying to trick Gannon's defensive line, trying to give it to number 18, Andre Dowdell, to see if they have the football, but they weren't fooled, and they were focused on Walter Fletcher the whole time during the play.
It'll be 2nd and 7 for Edinboro inside Gannon's red zone. It's the first time they've been there today. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Tight end on the line, the far side. They will hand it off to Walter Fletcher, who goes to that far side. He will get around the line for a gain of maybe 1. If they give him a gain at all, looks like it'll be 3rd and 7 again. He was brought down from around his neck, but no flag on the play.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That number 2, Martell Davis, he didn't get called for like a horse collar tackle or probably a face mask penalty against Walter Fletcher. So, but the Edinboro is going to have to fight way through against the physicalness from Gannon's defense. 2
receivers far side, 2 near side for Andrew Tomko. Walter Fletcher to his right, and we see a Gannon linebacker.
That's number 44, Noah Harris Lyles.
Defensive lineman. He got past the line and made contact with one of the Edinboro linemen, but the flag, we'll see, it should be on Gannon, but they might. Well, they rule that it's false start on Edinboro, actually.
I thought I didn't see any players moving from the Edinboro offensive line, but good.
Yeah, the referees have a closer view than us, and that's why they get paid to do that job. And we are here to do our job. Just under 2 minutes to go. Edinboro now on Gannon's own 18-yard line. 2 receivers either side for Andrew Tomko. Walter Fletcher to his left. Tomko takes a snap, looks right. He's looking for A.J. Turner, the tight end of the corner of the end zone, and finds him. A reception and a first touchdown of the game for the Edinboro Fighting Scots as the cannon sounds for the first time today.
That's a beautiful play by Tomko to Turner, just throw it deep into the end zone. And great fancy footwork and great hand moving to make sure he caught the football. It was in his full possession, and now the Flying Scots are down by 8. And looking at it down by 7, they can make the extra point.
And what I like about that play call is James Clark, the normal receiver in these high-pressure situations when they want to find someone in the end zone, they had him run a crossing route around the field or across the field and had A.J. Turner, instead the tight end, a less common target for Andrew Tomko, run that corner route and go over the top. And they connected with him because he was past the defensive back. Jake Monroe's point after attempt hits off one of the arms of the field goal, but they do rule it is good. So 7 points for Edinboro here, finally getting on the board. Minute 41 left in the first quarter. Gannon leading 14-7.
The programming on WFSC is underwritten by Bonnell's Auto Group, featuring collision services in Erie and Fairview, auto glass replacement and repair in Fairview, auto sales in Erie and Fairview, and full rod shop services and restoration in Fairview. Information on each service is on the web at bonnellsauto.com.
Now, when we look at the stats so far for both teams, the offense total yards kind of tells a little bit of the story. Gannon, 97 total yards on offense. Edinboro, only 47, believe it or not. Only 13 rushing yards to Gannon's 56. So Gannon is figuring out ways to move the ball mostly on the ground, which is something we weren't sure whether we would see that today with how Marcus Jones played last week.
Yeah, just because Marcus Jones had 22 yards rushing last week against Clarion, it doesn't mean he'll have a similar performance against Edinboro, and he wants to get better no matter what. I mean, like, for any play, you should never be satisfied no matter how great the performance was. So that's what Marcus Jones is doing right now against Edinboro.
Yeah, and just how if Marcus Jones ran for 22 yards last week, he can run for more this week. The same goes for Gannon's schedule. You talked about how just because Gannon is 0-4 doesn't mean they're an easy target for Edinboro to take on today. They are hungry. They want to win. That motivates your players. And at the same time, Gannon has played some pretty tough competitors in the first 4 weeks. So it's not like they were losing to guys who don't have any other wins during the season. As Edinboro's kickoff team makes their way to the field, Jake Monroe out for the kickoff. Once again, Edinboro moving left to right, wearing all red jerseys, white numbers, and white shoulders. And Gannon wearing all white with black helmets and black socks, for that matter. Jake Monroe back for the kick. From their own 35, the kick is a low-line drive, but it's deep all the way into the end zone, but they will make the return. He gets all the way to the 20 before getting hit. He gets brought down by the combination of Keyshawn Howard and, let's see if I can find the other one. That's A.J. Holton.
And we have a Gannon player down after a big hit from Keyshawn Howard. And it looks like number 26, Melvin Blanks. And it looks like he's limping across the field and is looking to be carried off from one of his teammates or probably the medical personnel.
Gannon's offense will come out. They are starting from their own 24-yard line on this drive with a minute and a half left in the first quarter. They are still leading 14-7. Edinboro looking to put a stop to them and maybe tie up the game before we get into the second quarter. Gannon comes out, two receivers near side, one far side, split backs, sends one of the backs in motion, fakes the handoff to Marcus Jones, makes the completion to the running back that was running in the flat. That's Joey Cox, the redshirt junior wide receiver. He was lined up as one of the split backs, took off toward the sideline, got the catch, but then was brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Really second and 11.
Yeah, that tackle was by number 24, Maurice Steps, and good job. That's how you tackle. Wrap him up and bring him down to the ground, and now gain a loss of 1 yard. for Gannon, and it'll be 2nd 11 at the 23-yard line in their own territory.
Two receivers either side for Gannon. Marcus Jones in at Dambach's right from their own 23-yard line. Dambach takes a snap, looks deep. Hugh throws deep. No one's in the neighborhood. There were a couple of guys that were about 10 yards away, but 3 Edinboro defenders were closer. It looks like that's Brandon Anderson.
Yeah, he was kind of close again, an interception, but either way it'll be 3rd down and 11, and they just need one more down to force Gannon a punt on this drive.
Gannon looks to the sidelines for their play call. They'll come out, 2 receivers either side. Once more, Marcus Jones in at Dambach's right. Dambach takes the snap, drops back, looks right, looks over the middle of the field. He will throw over the head of Joey Cox, over the hands of Joey Cox. So it'll be incomplete, 4th and long, and we'll see a Gannon's punt team come out.
And a great coverage by the secondary of Edinboro's defense just to make sure Dambach doesn't make another completion. And again, almost an interception, and almost recovered by number 9, Brandon Anderson. So now it's up to Zero Hendrick to make a great return to give great field position for the Fighting Scots offense.
Punter looks like it'll be Jared Morrison. The punt is high and deep over the head of Zeril Hendrick, who has to run backwards. He will take it from their own 24. Some fancy footwork, gets past the defender that was near him. He'll get all the way to the 30 and gets taken down by, I believe that was A.J. Turner, the tight end who's on the punt return team. A.J. Turner on Edinboro's team actually basically ended up making that tackle because he was pushed in to Zeril Hendrick by a Gannon defender.
Yeah, we have a Gannon player down on the ground near about the 25-yard line in Edinboro's territory, and it's not looking good. He's not getting up right now.
Yeah, there were some big hits, some big blocks made by Edinboro on that play.
And we have a holding penalty against Edinboro, so it'll be a 10-yard penalty to...
I believe that was Lindell Service Jr. who had the holding call there. Like I mentioned, a couple big hits. That return started. Zeril Hendrick fielded the ball on a bounce and then kind of just stood there, almost as if he had called for a fair catch or something, no whistle or anything, but might have fooled the Gannon punt player as he got down. A little bit of fancy footwork from Zeril Hendrick, and he's off to the races with no one near him. A couple big hits from his friends. He gets all the way down to the 30. It'll be 1st and 10, but it did get backed up. So Edinboro will start from their own 23-yard line.
And I think the player being carried back to the sidelines, I think that's number 43, Bo Miller, defensive back from Clarion, Pennsylvania. So it looks like he'll be okay, and he's being carried off by 2 medical personnel members.
And as he gets escorted off the field, they're going to go ahead and take a media timeout. We're going to go ahead and take one, too. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
Sherman Gillums Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
For more than 70 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans get all the benefits they have earned.
Al Kovac Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We provide one-on-one support tailored to your individual needs, including healthcare advocacy, benefit support, and career assistance.
For more information, call 1-800-424-8200 or visit pva.org. A public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Welcome back to Edinboro University at Sox Harrison Stadium, where the Gannon Golden Knights lead over the Edinboro Fighting Scots 14-7. 36 seconds left to go in the first quarter here in some PSAC West football action. And Luke, Edinboro not starting off hot, certainly getting a little bit of momentum going here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, not a good start, but they gained some ground. Right now they're only down by a touchdown, and they get the football once again at the 23-yard line in their own territory, and they're looking to even the score at 14.
As the players make their way back to the field, Edinboro will come out with 3 receivers near side, 1 far side, but there's some flags on the play.
And it looks like too many men on the field against Gannon.
Yeah, if we do our counting, I count 12 guys on the field. So 12 men in the formation. Now the communication gets made, and Trey McNeil, the odd man out, will make his way off the field, so they'll only have 11. So after the penalty backs Edinboro up, they'll now start 1st and 5 from their own 23-yard line. 3 receivers near side, 1 far side. Tomko takes a snap, looks left, finds Walter Fletcher in the flat. It goes through his hands and to the turf. It'll be incomplete, 2nd and 5 for Edinboro.
It should be a simple catch for Fletcher. I think it was so focused on what's up ahead from Gannon's defense. I think he was more concerned with the players and then focusing on catching the football. But it's okay. They're only 2nd down 5 for Edinboro.
2 receivers near side, 1 far side. The tight end on the line on the near side. Fletcher to Tomko's left. Tomko will hand the ball off to Fletcher, who gets his way up the middle. He's got himself about 5 yards on the play, and we'll see if they decide to move the chains.
And yeah, it looks like
they do.
Be another 1st down for Edinboro, and good job by Fletcher just finding a big hole in the middle and gain about 5 yards. So it'll be another 1st down and 10 at the 28-yard line in their own territory.
3 receivers near side, 1 far side for Andrew Tomko. 20 seconds to go here in the 1st quarter. Tomko takes the ball, looks left again for Walter Fletcher on a short pass. He makes the catch, gets hit a couple times before being brought down all the way at their own 43-yard line. 43-yard line, that is where the 1st down marker is. We are waiting. They actually rule it back on the 42, which will make it 2nd and 1 for Edinboro, and we have a Gannon player, a white jersey, a little bit long getting up.
And yeah, now I think that's number, I'm not sure what the number is right now.
I think that's Tyrese Sutton, the freshman defensive lineman. I think that's
I think you're correct. I think that's Tyrese Sutton coming off the field, and that's actually the end of the 1st quarter. Edinboro's now still down 14-7. So Edinboro will move from right to left from where if you're watching a football game. And supporters of WFSC include the Edinboro Hotel Bar, serving a variety of lunch and dinner items every day from their location at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinboro. Information is at 814-734-5103 or online at edinborohotelbar.com.
So after the 1st quarter, Edinboro now seems to be finding their stride. I mean, what they needed to do was establish that run game. If you establish the run game, then you have the threat of the pass. If you can't establish the run game, then everybody knows you're going to be passing all the time and they can just defend the pass. So they needed to establish that ground game, and it looks like they're starting to get it going here as the 1st quarter ends and we move into the 2nd quarter.
And yeah, I mean, there were some very good runs by Walter Fletcher during the last couple of plays of this current drive, and looking to continue to pound the football on the ground and hopefully establish a run from the passing game and looking to even the score against the Golden Knights.
Andrew Tomko so far, just 3 for 8 passing for just 43 yards. Of course, one of those was a touchdown, but also one of those was an interception. And like I said, he was 1 for 5 at one point earlier in the game through his first 5 attempts. And like I said, that's why it's so important to establish that run game, because otherwise you can just keep the wide receivers defended and barely even look at Walter Fletcher. That's why they need to get this going. So as Edinboro's offense makes their way out to the field, like Luke mentioned, now going to be moving from right to left, starting from their own 42-yard line. It is 2nd and 1. And they will start with 3 wide receivers bunched up on the far side, 1 receiver, that's Tanaz Gregory, on the near side. Walter Fletcher in at Andrew Tomko's right. He will pitch it over to Walter Fletcher along the far side of the field. Those bunched up receivers making blocks for him. He gets all the way down into Gannon's territory at their own 40. It'll be a 1st down and a lot more for Edinboro.
That is a huge play for Walter Fletcher. Good pitch throw by Tomko. And for Fletcher, once again, just finding big holes. He found more big holes on the right side to the outside. and that's another first down for Edinboro, like you said, and it'll be right at the 40-yard line against territory. It'll be like the same formation again. This time it will switch over.
Yeah, three receivers bunched up near side, one far side. They pitch it again to the left side. That run worked once. Why not do it again? Fletcher gets past the line of scrimmage, gets about 5 yards on the play, and there is a lot of extracurriculars as Walter Fletcher gets pushed out of bounds. Both Walter Fletcher and Romel Jones, the sophomore defensive back, the guy who pushed Walter Fletcher out, having words with the referee, probably trying to figure out who's going to get the penalty called on him.
I think that penalty will have to go to Romel Jones. I mean, I think he was going too far out of bounds after that play, and that'll be the second penalty against Gannon after forcing a player out of bounds after the play was over. So another free first down for Edinboro, and the ball will be now placed right about the 20-yard line in against territory. So if Edinboro can capitalize that penalty, then the score will be tied at 14.
This is a great opportunity for Edinboro. They need to capitalize on these mistakes if Gannon's going to make them, if they're going to give them these free yards. Three receivers far side, one near side for Andrew Tomko. Kyle Galick in at running back to Tomko's right. Gannon showing a little bit of pressure. They will bring that pressure. Tomko looking right, the pocket collapsing. He's going to take off running. He'll make his way back to the line of scrimmage, get a couple yards before running out of bounds. So it'll be second and probably 9 for Edinboro.
I thought he gained a little more yards than that, but that doesn't even matter. Good job by Tomko to escape the pressure. I thought he was going to get sacked. He kept driving his feet. Just get about a few yards, and it'll still be second down in probably like 7 or 8.
Yeah, the scoreboard says second and 7 here. Tomko takes a snap, hands it off to Kyle Galick, who goes up the middle. He got his little feet moving and got through that line quick before getting brought down. He got about 3 yards on the play. So it will be 3rd and 5 from Gannon's 15-yard line. And Walter Fletcher makes his way back onto the field. Looks like they're going to line up three receivers far side, one near side. Walter Fletcher in at Tomko's left. The ball placed at the near hash. Edinboro moving right to left, threatening to score again here in the second quarter. 13 minutes to go. Tomko takes a snap, looks left for a quick pass, and gets swatted down by the defensive line. And it looks like that was Roderick Carson Jr., the sophomore defensive lineman, 6'2", 255 pounds. All he had to do was throw a hand in the air and block that pass. So, 4th and 5 from Gannon's 15-yard line, and we're going to see Jake Monroe come out to attempt just his second field goal kick of the season. He missed the first one back at Bloomsburg and has not had an attempt on a field goal since. The hold is good. The kick is up. And the referees deem it as good. So the first completion from Jake Monroe, who has been absolutely electric in extra point kicks, with 13 minutes and 3 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. Edinboro making a little bit of a comeback, trailing just 14-10. We're going to go ahead and take a 1-minute break. You are listening to 88.9 WFSC Fighting Scots Radio.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Resources are available for military families. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
So you don't have to miss even a minute. It's the Fighting Scots in action on the Edinboro Sports Network, on the radio 88.9 WFSC, and online at edinboronow.com. Video of many home games is also featured on ETV. This game broadcast is underwritten in part by the Edinboro Hotel Bar, serving a variety of lunch and dinner items every day from their location at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinboro. Information is at 814-734-5103 or online at edinborohotelbar.com.
Welcome back to Sox Harrison Stadium here at Edinboro University. And we're seeing a little bit of a comeback, though it is early in the game. Edinboro finally getting some momentum going, getting that offense going, gets all the way into Gannon's territory, close enough to get the field goal out of Jake Monroe's boot.
Yeah, speaking of Monroe, I was a little worried for him because right now it's windy. Even though it's a beautiful day, it's very windy. It's blowing really hard, and I was worried for him that if he's going to kick it, the wind might blow the football away from the goalpost. But either way, the wind did not bother him, and the Fighting Scots are now down by 4 points early in the second quarter.
And I mentioned Jake Monroe, very good on extra point kicks. He came into this game 24 for 25. He's missed just one this entire season. He's already got one today, as well as the field goal. And it looks like he will be back out for the kickoff as well. This is something we saw through the first 2 games. He handled all kicking duties, point after attempts, field goals, and kickoffs. It wasn't until last week, 2 weeks ago, that we saw Corey Badaracco make some kickoffs and punts. Monroe with the kick, a low line drive down towards the near sideline. It will be fielded from the 5-yard line. The returner has a blocker in front of him, directing traffic, gets all the way down to their own 40 before being brought down. They'll rule him down at the 42-yard line. A huge return. That's a 37-yard return from Gannon.
Yeah, that was Melvin Blank on the return. I thought he was going to go all the way for a touchdown to increase the lead by 11 points, but I think out of nowhere, number 13, Branson Smith made a nice tackle to stop that big run from Gannon's special teams.
Yeah, that was a little scary. There was a huge hole opened up with a blocker in front of him. Gannon will start the drive. A tight end on either side of the line, receivers on either side, sends the far one in motion behind the offensive line on the near side, hands off to Marcus Jones, who goes towards that direction, gets around the offensive line, attempted tackle by Brandon Anderson, but isn't brought down, so he keeps going. He's got a first down, makes his way out of bounds, and then gets hit, and there's a flag on the play, and it's probably going to be a late hit.
And it looks like the referees are discussing to see what penalty it is. You might be right against that the penalty made against Edinboro.
It is a personal foul. The number they listed, did you say 32 or 52?
I'm really not even sure. I mean, it's so hard to hear while talking and like hearing the microphones from the referee. So either way, it's a penalty against Edinboro defense, and now the Gannon Golden Knights are at the 30-yard line, Edinboro's territory, and number 10 hands off to Marcus Jones, and he will gain about probably like 2 yards on the play, so it'll be second down and 8 on the.
Yeah, they will place it. It will be second and 8. Gannon, the ball placed at Edinboro's 26-yard line. Just over 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Gannon still leading 14-10, looking to add to that total. They are moving left to right, by the way, as you look at your radio dial. They return with a 2 tight end set. One receiver on either side. And Marcus Jones to Dombach's right. Fakes the handoff to Marcus Jones, keeps it himself, runs around to the near sideline. He'll get a first down and get pushed out of bounds at Edinboro's 18-yard line.
Another option played by Dombach, forcing the Edinboro defensive line to focus on Marcus Jones and roll right out to the outside and gain enough for a first down for the Gannon Golden Knights.
And those read plays depend entirely on the quarterback's ability to essentially read what the defense is doing. And so far, Dombach has made the right choice every time. 2 receivers near side. Marcus Jones to his left, hands off to Marcus Jones running around to the right. That's the near sideline. He will get brought down by a couple different red jerseys all the way down at Edinboro's 10, maybe 11-yard line now that they place it. It'll be second and about 4.
Yeah, nice job by Marcus Jones. Just roll around the outside, gain as many yards on that play. And now they're at the 11-yard line at Edinboro's territory. So the defense needs to make a big stop right here if they don't want another touchdown by Gannon.
2 tight ends again, 1 receiver either side. Sends the far one in motion to the near side. Hands it off to Marcus Jones, who goes up the middle. The extra blocker is not enough. He'll get brought down immediately by Maurice Sims and friends. inside Edinboro's 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 1 for Gannon here.
Yeah, the Edinboro's defensive line wasn't full for that play. They were expecting to run probably about up in the middle, and now it's 3rd down and 1 at the 9-yard line in Edinboro's territory. So this is a very big play here for the Fighting Scots defense.
They return to the double tight end set. Receiver on either side. The far side receiver way on the other side of the field. Marcus Jones will take the ball up the middle. He gets tripped up as he goes through the offensive line, but it looks like he does have enough for a 1st down. And they will move the chains, and by that I mean make it 1st and goal with the ball placed on Edinboro's 8-yard line.
At first I thought it was just fell short, but the referee said a better few than we do.
10 minutes to go here in the half. Gannon leading 14-10, threatening now 1st and goal inside Edinboro's 10-yard line. 2 receivers far side. Marcus Jones to the right. A tight end behind the offensive line to the right. Sends the slot receiver on the far side to the right. Marcus Jones with the handoff, but gets hit immediately by Maurice Sims and Derek Dorr with the edge rush from the left side of the offensive line. And now after the play is over, a flag in Edinboro's backfield, and there's some conversations happening down between some red jerseys and some white jerseys.
I think the penalty might be against Gannon, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Well, actually, maybe. I'm not really sure, but we'll wait for the penalty call from the referees.
Yeah, that's about all we can do.
And it's another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Edinboro's defense. And I mean, you should not have any of those kind of penalties. I don't care if it's a local rival game. You just try to stay focused mentally and don't try to make any more mistakes if you can for the rest of this football game.
Yeah, Zarel Hendrick with the unsportsmanlike conduct after the play had ended. Like I said, a little bit of words being exchanged between both sides. 3 receivers far side for Gannon with the ball lined up on the 6-yard line. They will hand off the ball to Marcus Jones, who looked to go up the middle, then bounces out to the right side. First hit doesn't bring him down, but the second hit will. About 3 different, maybe 4 different Edinboro defenders bring him down. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line.
Good job for the Edinboro defensive line. It's not just one player. There are many players surrounding Marcus Jones to make one big tackle. It'll be 2nd down goal at the 6-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
Yeah, defensive coordinator Colin Neely said exactly that. We asked him, what would it take to stop Marcus Jones? He said 13 or 14 different guys on the field. It takes an army to bring down this one man. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side for Gannon. Marcus Jones was on the left, gets moved over to the right side. They fake the handoff, throw it into the end zone, into the hands of the leaping wide receiver. I believe that was DeJuan Walker. As he leapt up, the ball simply hitting his hands and falling to the floor. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and goal again from Edinboro's 6-yard line.
That was a lucky break for the Edinboro's defense. I thought it was going to be a simple touchdown pass on that slant route, but he just dropped it. He was so close making that touchdown catch. And that'll be 3rd down goal still at the 6-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
8.5 minutes to go here in the half. 2 receivers either side for Jeremy Dambach. Marcus Jones to his left. Looks right for the pass, but it's tipped at the line. It'll be incomplete. 4th and goal, and it looks like a field goal team for Gannon is going to make their way onto the field.
That's a very important play for the defense, and great job by the defensive line. Just to make sure Dambach doesn't make another completion, and it'll force Gannon to make their first field goal of the game.
And that is Brian Streibel, the true freshman kicker. And now they shift the offensive line to a swinging gate formation. They move 5 offensive linemen to the far side of the field with 1 receiver behind him. They keep 1 offensive lineman with the snapper, at the center, and then send a couple receivers down to the near sideline. But as they do that, Edinboro not quite ready to defend it. They call a timeout.
At first, that formation definitely reminds me of University of Oregon. They run that kind of similar formation before after they scored a touchdown, and pretty much about 8 out of 10 times they scored on a 2-point conversion with that formation. So I think that's what Gannon's trying to do, and then Edinboro's even to say, hey, call a timeout. We need to have a better plan.
Yeah, I've seen that play run a few different ways. There are two ways to go about it. You either line up in the field goal formation and then switch into the swinging gate, or you line up in the swinging gate, see if the defense knows how to defend it, and if they don't, then you move into the field goal. Either way can kind of give you an opportunity for that 2-point conversion, but Gannon came out in the field goal formation and then tried to catch Edinboro off guard, which apparently they did, as Edinboro needed that timeout.
Support for WFSC is provided in part by John's Wildwood Pizzeria, open daily at 105 Erie Street in Edinboro. John's menu includes pizza, hoagies, wings, salads, and more. Information is at 814-734-7355 or on the web at johnswildwoodpizza.com. After this long drive from Gannon, they get all the way down to Edinboro's 6-yard line. It is 4th and goal for Gannon. There are 8 minutes and 34 seconds left on the clock in this first half. Gannon leading 14-10, looking to add to that. They have 2 touchdowns so far. Edinboro has a touchdown and then a field goal themselves. Gannon looking to make this, or looking to give themselves a full 7-point lead. They come back out in the field goal formation with Brian Streibel back to kick. The hold is good. The kick is up, and it looks like they have added a field goal to their total. So it's 17-10 with just 8.5 minutes to go here in the half. And as both teams go over what they need to do to finish out this half strong, we're going to go ahead and take a minute break here. You are listening to 88.9 WFSC Fighting Scots Radio.
NHL star Matt Martin for American Humane.
Hi, I'm Matt Martin, and in all my years of playing professional hockey, I've gotten my share of bruises and injuries. But for many who really put their lives on the line every day, it's not always the injuries you can see that hurt the most. I'm talking about our veterans. Every single day, 184 veterans are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, and tragically, 20 take their own lives. When medications and therapy don't help, professionally trained service dogs can. American Humane, serving the U.S. military for over 100 years, has put together a free guide to help veterans obtain these life-saving service animals. If you are a veteran or know a veteran struggling with PTS, please go to AmericanHumane.org for this free, downloadable resource. Let's give our veterans the help they need to win their battle.
For more information, visit AmericanHumane.org.
Welcome back to Edinboro University. We are currently nearing the end of the first half of this PSAC West football matchup between the Edinboro Fighting Scots and the Gannon Golden Knights on Edinboro's homecoming. Brian Streibel, who just kicked a field goal for Gannon, back for the kickoff. It is deep. Kyle Galick will field it from their own 12-yard line with Cyril Hendrick in front of him to block, but he'll get brought down from behind at Edinboro's 22-yard line. And that's where they will start their drive.
Yeah, there's a simple return for Galick in a pretty good field position. They're about the 27-yard line in Edinboro's territory, but either way, the Edinboro gets the football back, and they're looking to tie the game at 17.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long I end up doing this, Luke. I will probably never be able to read these yard lines correctly. So starting, yes, from their own 27 instead of the 22. 8 minutes, 28 seconds left in the half. In the first half, Gannon leading 17-10. Edinboro looking to get this game tied up possibly. They come out 3 receivers on the far side, tight end on the near side. Send one of those receivers in motion, but hands it off to Walter Fletcher, who goes up the middle. There's a flag on the play near the line of scrimmage. Fletcher got maybe 2 yards on the run, but we'll see what this penalty is here.
There's a hands to the face penalty against Gannon, so that'll be a 15-yard penalty. It'll be another free first down for the Flying Scots. And looks like the The football will now be at the 44-yard line in Edinboro's territory, so another free first down for the Fighting Scots.
That was Malachi Woody, the redshirt freshman. Just a young mistake there with the personal foul. 3 receivers to the far side, head in near side, hands the ball off to Walter Fletcher, who comes around to the near side. He has a first down and more to the 40, to the 35, all the way to Gannon's 35-yard line. A huge run, didn't even get hit until he was past the first down marker. So it'll be 1st and 10 from Gannon's 35 here, just under 8 minutes to go. Gannon still leading 17-10. Edinboro comes back out, 3 receivers far side, 1 near side, looking to pick up the pace. Walter Fletcher to Andrew Tomko's right. He'll take the snap, look right. Walter Fletcher in the flat, but it's James Clark on the crossing route. He'll make the catch and get a gain of about 3 yards on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 7 for Edinboro.
Going back on the play for Fletcher, that's a very good job, just rolling around to the outside, and number 1, James Sims, was very close to make a big tackle on Fletcher, but he was too little too late.
3 receivers far side again, 1 receiver near side. Fletcher to Tomko's left. The ball on the near hash. Tomko takes a snap, looks left, looks for Fletcher on the quick pass, but it will go to his feet, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 7 now. 7 minutes, 18 seconds left in the half. Edinboro had a little bit of momentum going there.
Yeah, they really have, and that's what really what they wanted to have. I mean, they have the football, and they just need to score a touchdown to tie the game.
Edinboro comes out, 3 receivers far side, 1 near side. Tomko taking his time with the snap now that the clock is dead. Tomko takes a snap, looks for Walter Fletcher in the middle of the field. He has not been touched on the reception, gets to the 10, the 5, goes to put the ball into the pylon and gets hit hard as he goes down. They'll rule him out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
That is a beautiful play by Fletcher once again. Just a short route pass. They goes up in the middle, and they rolls around to the outside near Edinboro's sideline. He was so close to get a touchdown, but either way, it's 1st down and goal against 2-yard line.
And they spot the ball at the 2. 3 receivers near side, none on the far side. Fletcher to Tomko's left. They send 1 receiver in motion, hand the ball off to Walter Fletcher, who goes up the middle, gets to the goal line before getting hit. He will fall backwards, and it looks like they're going to rule him down at the 1, almost inside the 1-yard line. 6.5 minutes to go here in the half. Edinboro trailing 17-10, but real close to tying it up here. 3 receivers near side again. The ball is placed currently at the far hash. Fletcher to Tomko's left. They'll send that slot receiver in motion again, hand it off to Fletcher again. He goes through the center, falls forward, and they will give him a touchdown. Edinboro now 17-16 awaiting the extra point here. 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the half.
That's all you have to do when you're at the 1-yard line. Just run the football, and that's what Walter Fletcher did, and you get a touchdown, and now they're down by 1 point. And if Jake Monroe can make the extra point, they will tie the game at 17.
Jake Monroe out. He's already got 1 good point after attempt and 1 good field goal. The hold is good. The kick is up, and it'll be good. Jake Monroe with the extra point ties it up here. Under 6.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Support for WFSC is provided in part by Bonnell's Auto Glass in Fairview, offering professional automotive glass repair, window tinting, and window replacement services. Information is available online at bonnellsautoglass.com.
And as we look now at the stats so far through this first half, the tables have turned a little bit. Edinboro, which at one point had half the total offensive yards compared to Gannon, now has more total yards, 147 to Gannon's 127. The rushing game getting there, improving, 71 yards on 16 attempts. They're averaging just under 5 yards per rush. And that's been the big story, like I mentioned, establishing that run. And as they've done that, now they've opened themselves up to these big passing plays.
And yeah, and just because the Flying Scots were down 14-0 early in the first quarter, it doesn't mean the game is automatically over. We have still plenty of game time. We have like 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half, and we have about 3 more minutes in the second half. So This is so far a very good football game between those two teams.
And by the way, those passing yards on Edinboro's side, almost double Gannon's passing yards. Edinboro has 76 passing yards so far, about 15 yards per completion. Gannon just 8 yards per completion with 41 yards. Of course, Edinboro has one touchdown on a pass. That was to A.J. Turner back in the first quarter. Gannon, 0 passing touchdowns so far. Both their touchdowns have come on running plays. So it kind of gives you an idea what each team has been stressing so far in the first half of this game. Jake Monroe will come out to kick off the ball. Edinboro is moving right to left as you look at your dial. This game now tied, 6 minutes 20 in the first half. Edinboro sideline now getting into it. Some chanting going on as Edinboro lines up for their kickoff. Monroe's kick, a line drive all the way back to Gannon's 8-yard line. He will make his way down the sideline and get brought down by Khalil Jackson II, the true freshman wide receiver.
Made a good tackle on number 12, Nico Law.
And we have an Edinboro player a little bit slow to get up.
I think that might be Khalil Jackson after, I think he maybe just a knock in the wind for him. I hope he'll be okay. Oh, it looks like he's not going to get back up.
It was kind of an awkward tackle. But we will see him get back up, I'm sure. Edinboro's defense will be defending this drive from Gannon's 29-yard line. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick 30-second break here. You are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
For far too long, animals on farms and ranches were not afforded protections to ensure their humane treatment and care. Luckily, times have changed, and more farmers are raising their animals in accordance with the American Humane science-based standards, which offer ethically driven consumers humanely raised products. The next time you're in the grocery store, be sure to choose foods that are American Humane certified. To learn more, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Welcome back to Sox Harrison Stadium. This PSAC West football game, homecoming between the Edinboro Fighting Scots and the Gannon Golden Knights, tied up at 17 here. We have less than half of the second quarter remaining. That Edinboro player that was down after the kickoff was not Khalil Jackson II.
That's number 13, Branson Smith.
Also a freshman, a cornerback. He's now jogging off the field under his own power. That's a good thing to see after a little bit of an extended stay on Edinboro's turf. Like I mentioned before we went to that break, Gannon will be starting this drive moving left to right from their own 29-yard line. They'll come out, spread out, 2 receivers either side. Jason Danback with Marcus Jones to his right. And he'll now send Marcus Jones to his left. Danback takes the snap, hands it off to Marcus Jones. There's a flag on the near sideline.
And I think it may be a holding penalty against the Golden Knights, but who knows? And we'll wait for the referee on the penalty.
Marcus Jones got about 5 yards, maybe 6 yards on the run, but we'll see what this flag is here. It looks like it's going to be an offsides call against Edinboro as the Gannon coaches deciding whether they want to take the penalty or not on the run. They would get 5 yards on the penalty. They will take it. Now, the decision there is because they got 6 yards on the run. They only get 5 yards on the penalty. But if they take the penalty, they get to replay first down, whereas if they took the run, it'd be 2nd and 4. So they take the penalty, 1st and 5 from their own 33-yard line. 2 receivers far side, sends one of them in motion towards the near side, hands the ball off to Marcus Jones, who gets through the line but is hit immediately. A swarm of red jerseys immediately on Marcus Jones. He gets a gain still of about 4 yards on the play. He's a big guy and he falls forward. It'll be 2nd and 1 from Gannon's own 38-yard line.
That's a good big power by the Edinboro's defense just to make sure Marcus Jones doesn't go anywhere. But they need to have this big stop. Like, Gannon just need 1 yard to make another first down to keep this drive alive.
Gannon comes out with a 2 tight end set. Receiver on either side. Marcus Jones to Danbach's right. Hands off to Marcus Jones, who gets through the line, found somehow a hole, and then fell forward as he got brought down. He does get the first down as he gets all the way to Gannon's 42-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 for Gannon with 5 minutes to go in the half. The game tied at 17. Edinboro looking to put a stop to this drive and maybe give their offense an opportunity to score again before this half ends. 2 receivers near side, tight end on the far side for Gannon. Running back to Jason Dombach's right. Fakes the handoff, looks right, looks downfield, finds his receiver, Richard Mikowski, the redshirt senior. He's got a first down on the pass. Got brought down immediately all the way down at Edinboro's 37-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Gannon in Edinboro's territory on the huge pass play.
Yeah, good job by Dombach throwing the kneel to Mikowski on that big passing play. Now Gannon's at probably the 37-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
3 receivers far side now, the tight end on the near side. Sends one of the receivers closer to the line. Hands the ball off to Marcus Jones. No, keeps the ball. Another one of those option runs, but he doesn't get anywhere. He actually loses about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 for Gannon now.
This is probably the 5th or 6th time that Dombach's running the option play and keeps it himself. But this time, the Edinboro defensive line wasn't fooled, that they were focused on Dombach the whole time.
Yeah, we mentioned he has been making those reads brilliantly. That one just not getting him anywhere, though. If he had handed off to Marcus Jones, who knows if it would have been a better result. 2nd and 11 from Edinboro's 38-yard line. 3 receivers far side. Sends one of them in motion towards the near side. Hands the ball off to Marcus Jones this time, who doesn't even get through the offensive line. There wasn't a hole to be found. So it'll be a loss of about 1, another loss. 3rd and 12 now from Edinboro's 39-yard line.
Another big play by the defensive line, filling the gaps against Gannon's offensive line and containing Marcus Jones, and he didn't gain any yards, he just lost a couple.
They come back out with 3 receivers far side. This time instead of the tight end, they've got a receiver on the near side. Marcus Jones to Jason Dombach's right. Dombach takes the snap, looks right, looking to the middle of the field. He's going to find his receiver who escapes a tackle. He's all the way down at Edinboro's 27-yard line before getting brought down.
And that'll be another first down for Gannon. And they're going to try to keep it rolling just to find another play.
And that was DeJuan Walker with the reception. He was the lone receiver on the near side. Ran a shallow post almost towards the middle of the field before getting connected with the pass. They come back out, 2 receivers far side, 1 near side tight end on the line near side. Marcus Jones to Jason Dombach's left. Dombach will take the snap, hand it off to Marcus Jones, who gets hit behind the line and brought down eventually by the team of David Ballou.
And also, I think, number 61, Barrett Hoffman.
Barrett Hoffman, a redshirt freshman defensive tackle. And David Ballou, the senior defensive end, teaming up there. A little bit of veteran, a little bit of youth teaming up for the tackle. It is 2nd and 9 for Gannon. 3 receivers far side, the tight end on the line near side. Sends that inside receiver on the far side towards the near side. Fakes the handoff this time. Looks towards the far sideline, and Edinboro has an interception. That is DeAndre Dowdell, who dove in front of the diving intended receiver and came up with the catch from their own 15-yard line. A huge interception to stop the drive here with under a minute and a half left in this half. The game still tied at 17. Edinboro now with an opportunity to march down the field and take a lead before we go into halftime.
Good job by DeAndre Dowdell continuing on one of the Gannon receivers, and then he was reading Dogbox where the ball was about to throw, and just right on time, quickly moving for the receiver and create the interception. Now it's up to Edinboro's offense if they can capitalize the turnover.
Edinboro comes out, 3 receivers near side, 1 far side with the ball placed on the far hash. Tomko takes a snap, looks for the screen pass to Walter Fletcher on the far side. He's wide open. He's not going to get hit. He's all the way down to Edinboro's 40. He's at midfield before being brought down from behind, and some excellent footwork prevented him from even getting touched until he got to midfield. He will be down in Gannon's territory on their 48-yard line. 1st and 10. The clock running. We're at about a minute to go in the first half. In the second quarter, 3 receivers near side now, 1 far side. Walter Fletcher to Tomko's left. Tomko takes a snap, looks left for the pass, finds Sanaz Gregory running a short slant route underneath some deep routes. He will get a few yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and about 7 from Gannon's 45-yard line. And there is a timeout called by Edinboro with 49 seconds left in the half. Edinboro marching downfield. They want to stop this clock, plan out maybe their next few plays, and see how they're going to approach the rest of this half. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You are listening to 88.9 WFSC Fighting Scots Radio.
Proud to serve the Edinboro campus, community, and alumni around the world. We're 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio, continuing a legacy of great college radio with the support of our underwriters, including the Edinboro Hotel Bar at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinboro, providing a variety of lunch and dinner items every day. Details are available at 814-734-5103 or online at edinborohotelbar.com. The Edinboro Hotel Bar, where you had me at hotel.
Welcome back to Edinboro University as the Edinboro Fighting Scots attempting to finish this half strong. With the game tied 17-17, they come out, spread receivers, 2 receivers either side. Tomko looking deep downfield to the right, overthrows the intended receiver, and it is instead brought down by a Gannon defensive back, an interception. And on that play was Romel Jones, a sophomore defensive back, with the interception all the way back at their own 3-yard line, and just not what Edinboro needed as they took that timeout to collect themselves and be able to finish this half strong.
Yeah, the pass was underthrown by Tomko. It was attended to number 1, James Clark. I thought it was going to be a good pass. I thought it was going to be on target, but somehow, some way, it just fell short. And now Gannon will have the football, but they're not going to score any points by the end of the first half, and they're just going to run the clock.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take a knee from within their own 3-yard line. So as the clock ticking away now, Edinboro will not choose to use their final timeout.
But there's a flag right now, right about probably the 7-yard line in Gannon's territory.
But in Edinboro's backfield. And we'll see what the call is here from the referee.
And that penalty is against Edinboro number 65, Nick Pettigrew.
Luckily for Pettigrew, it looks like Gannon's still going to take the knee here, as they will need to take one more before the end of the game. They do get the free first down on the 15-yard penalty. The clock currently stopped at 30 seconds while they move the chains. They will restart the clock once it gets moved. And with that, it looks like the half is probably going to end tied 17-17 unless Gannon pulls something out of their sleeves. They are in a kneeling formation, just waiting for the clock to tick away. With 15 seconds left, they will take their final knee, and we will watch the seconds tick away. Edinboro unable to complete that last-minute drive after the interception. That was huge for Edinboro by DeAndre Dowdell. Got the momentum going, got the ball moving back to midfield on that huge, that screen pass by Walter Fletcher that he turned into a huge gain. That's what we see from Walter Fletcher every time he goes to carry the ball.
Yeah, and with that play, you would think that they're going to score a touchdown before the end of the first half, and then unfortunately Topko throw an interception, which gave the ball back to Gannon, and now I think the momentum has turned maybe just a little bit, but there's still plenty of football to come at the second half.
Yeah, Walter Fletcher, he has been incredible. And when we've talked to offensive coordinator Chris Limbach in the past, he has said that one of the greatest parts about having Walter Fletcher as a possible target on passing plays and rushing plays is the ability to take those short passes and turn them into huge gains. And that's what he has done this season. Just today, he's got 4 receptions for 91 yards. That's an average of 22.8 yards, with his longest one being that last one, a 37-yard reception gain. He's currently leading the team in receiving yards, despite being the primary running back. That's the kind of depth that we see out of Edinboro's offense week in and week out.
And what's funny is looking at the other receivers for the Fighting Scots, Tanaz Gregory and James Clark each had 1 reception for 3 yards.
And when we look at Edinboro's defense, which has historically been very strong, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast during our pregame, Edinboro is currently leading the nation, all of Division II football, in turnovers gained, in forced fumbles, and in interceptions. Edinboro's defense has been absolutely locked down and led in no small part by Brandon Anderson, who already has 7 tackles, 4 of them solo tackles, and 1 tackle for a loss. Not far behind in the defensive line, Derek Dorr, 5 tackles himself, and 5 tackles for Trey Hall, the linebacker who we got to interview during our pregame show, who's one of Edinboro's leaders in interceptions with 3, despite only having 1 in his entire career going into the season.
And yeah, looking at some team statistics, Edinboro has 187 total yards, and Gannon has 164. And looking at the first downs, Gannon has 15, while Edinboro has 11. Gannon managed to complete like 50% of third down conversions, while Edinboro completed 2 out of 5. And like the average yards per play for the Fighting Scots, 6.0 yards per play, and for Gannon, 4.3. And both teams are perfect at the red zone. Edinboro 3 for 3, and Gannon for 2 for 2.
And when we look at Gannon's offense, we knew the biggest threat from the Golden Knights today was going to be Marcus Jones, that huge running back that has been such a cornerstone of their offense for so long. After just 22 yards rushing last week, he has come into this game 81 yards on 17 carries. He's averaging about 5 yards per carry. And part of what has made Gannon's offense so hard to defend for Edinboro is what they like to do, similar to what we saw at Bloomsburg. At Bloomsburg, what Bloomsburg's offense likes to do is just run the same play the same way every single time. And we've seen that a lot, that repetition coming out of Gannon. But what they do is they have these alternate plays that look very similar. One example has been they'll line up 3 receivers on one side of the ball, no receivers on the other side of the ball, and a tight end on the other side opposite from the receivers. They'll send one in motion towards the offensive line and then hand the ball off to Marcus Jones and use that extra receiver as a blocker. Well, towards the end of the half, we then saw that become a fake handoff passing play that luckily Edinboro was able to defend with the huge interception by DeAndre Dowdell. But that's the kind of competition that Edinboro is up against. They have to be alert when Gannon comes up with the same play over and over and over, but they also have to stay alert for those possible trick plays.
And yeah, and so far it's a good ball game between both of those teams. Luckily, Edinboro, they're still they're tied. Like I had said before, they were down 14-0, but doesn't mean they can't give up the game. I mean, we have like 30 minutes left of football action, and a good job by Gannon. They put a lot of pressure on both offense and defense, and they I said before early in the game, and just because the Golden Knights are 0-4, that doesn't mean that you should take easy on them. And they're really hungry for a win every week, no matter what team they are playing. And that goes to Edinboro. They should play hard 100% on every play until the last whistle of the football game.
Yeah, so with just over 15 minutes to go until this halftime is over, the score tied at 17 here at Edinboro University for Edinboro's homecoming game facing off against the Gannon Golden Knights. We're going to go ahead and take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
The body, it is a work of art, an incredible feat of engineering, and a beautiful biological mystery. A mystery scientists work tirelessly to unravel. And while many questions remain, we now have new insight into why our immune system has difficulty detecting cancer cells in the body. This new understanding has led to a revolutionary approach called immunotherapy, and a new hope for how we'll fight cancer in the future. This is Jimmy Smits, and I'm here with Stand Up to Cancer. Immunotherapy works by boosting our body's natural immune system, empowering it to identify and eradicate many types of cancer cells. Speak with your doctor and visit su2c.org/immunotherapy to see if this approach may be right for you or your loved one. Your body might just be your greatest hope.
As far back as she can remember, Amy loved computers, how they worked, what they could do. They were a challenge. She wanted to learn as much as she could. So she harnessed her passion, and now she's a cybersecurity officer in the military. If you have a passion, a vision for your future in any field, todaysmilitary.com can be your path to a fulfilling career. You have a calling, we have an answer. Find your way at todaysmilitary.com.
It's all Fighting Scots on Edinboro Sports Network, including 88.9 WFSE and EdinboroNow.com. ETV, the campus television station, also features many of the home contests. This game broadcast is provided in part by support from John's Wildwood Pizzeria, open every day at 105 Erie Street in downtown Edinboro. For eat-in, delivery, or takeout, John's menu includes pizza, hoagies, calzones, wings, salads, and more. Information is at 814-734-7355 or on the web at johnswildwoodpizza.com.
And back here at Sox Harrison Stadium, here at Edinboro University, we are currently celebrating halftime. Edinboro's marching band, some of them clothed in some kilts, as is the Fighting Scots tradition on field, playing away this halftime. The score, of course, tied 17-17. Now, we mentioned during our pregame that we had a special interview with Wayne Bradford, head coach of the Edinboro Fighting Scots, and we weren't able to get to it. We ran out of time, and it broke our heart. We felt so bad. We made sure we were going to fit it in during our halftime show. So we are going to go ahead and air that for you. We had a great conversation with him, talking about some of the young players, some of the old players, some of his favorite homecoming traditions. I mean, the Kilted Mile, the homecoming parade. How could you not like any of it? So next up is our interview with head coach of the Fighting Scots, Wayne Bradford, and stick around afterwards. We'll be right back with some more during our halftime show here on 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
Right now we get to talk to head football coach Wayne Bradford of the Fighting Scots. Coach, big game this week. How you feeling just 24 hours ahead of the homecoming game?
Feel great. It's been great to see all the alumni. I had an opportunity to go over to the alumni golf outing this morning. We had Randy McElwain, who spent some time with you guys this morning, come out and see our kids yesterday, and then Josh Kibbe and Victor Hudson in today. So a lot of alums will be back for it. The weather's perfect, so we're just thrilled to get ready to get kicked off.
Now, this week, as you know, is homecoming. What is your favorite homecoming tradition?
Just all the guys, having the opportunity to coach here 20 years, just to see all the guys come back and see what great men they have become. Great fathers, great husbands, great uncles. They get to bring their families back. You get to meet their children, their wives. I think that's the reason I got into coaching, and that's really special.
Who are some of your favorite Edinboro alumni you get to see every year? I know it's like picking your favorite
Sure.
kid, but...
Yeah, well, Josh Kibbe and Victor Hudson were in today, which is awesome. Anthony Peluso was the first kid I ever recruited, so I got to see Anthony at the Hall of Fame game or Hall of Fame night. Dave Smith, who was an All-American, and I got to personally coach as the defensive line coach. And Justin Bouch, who played quarterback for us, we won 3 titles with, who I had a special relationship with, had an opportunity. So the list goes on and on. But really the guys that you recruited, number one, and then the guys that you physically coach position-wise, you always have a special connection with those guys.
What are your pregame rituals before a football game?
Well, we're pretty organized, and we have a set schedule every week. Everything down to the minute is organized. So we go out 1 hour before the game basically and do all of our things, and it's very much a coach's routine. So what you see us do every week, we practice and we're organized and we do.
And by the way, this is the radio, so you couldn't see it, but as he was saying that, he held up a down-to-the-minute schedule of what happens right before a game starts.
Correct. So 12:56, we'll be out there with our specialists, and then in a 5-minute segment, someone else will come out, and in a 5-minute segment, someone else will come out, and so forth until we go back to the locker room. So it's all scheduled out right to the second.
So being former defensive coordinator, I mean, you've been involved on the defensive side of coaching for years, up until being named the head coach last year, the interim head coach, and then head coach this year. What's it like to see, at least through these first 4 weeks, the defense on Edinboro's defense playing so well, leading in interceptions, forced fumbles, turnovers gained, all these categories?
It's really special, and I'm the head coach, but I'm also the linebacker coach. So obviously I'm still involved with the defense. Colin Neely, Lorenzo Hoff do a tremendous job. Colin is as good as anybody as a position coach on the defensive line, and is doing a tremendous job as a defensive coordinator. And our team and our defense really has taken on his persona. But yes, having a special place in my heart. If you look behind us, we're the number 1 defense in the country in 3 categories in 2005. So obviously, I'm really into the fact that defense wins championships, and I love what we do offensively. And as a head coach, you ultimately want to win. But in today's game, you're scoring points like crazy, you're getting yards like crazy, the number of plays. To be able to play great defense is awesome, and we take a lot of pride in that, and I personally take a lot of pride in that.
And coming to tomorrow again, Edinboro have a little bit of history being local rivals. Edinboro has the edge in the series at 8-4, but in the game notes prepared by Edinboro's sports information, you're quoting as saying, "Throw the records out of the window. You just wanted to get revenge against the Golden Knights."
Yeah, I mean, they've won 4 out of the last 5. We're 4-0 at home coming against them. So hopefully we play well. We did not play great there last year, not to take anything away from them, but they took it to us. So I hope our kids understand, what Gannon's going to bring tomorrow. And they've played against these guys in high school. They probably talk to one another on social media. It's a rivalry game. It's a prideful game. We want to win, our backyard brawl rivalry games. And obviously Slippery Rock's our oldest rival. We've played them 84 times. But Mercyhurst and Gannon being up the road, we want to win Erie County. So there's a lot at stake tomorrow.
And we've seen a lot of production coming all around both sides, offense, defense, special teams, all through the depth chart. First string, second string, doesn't matter. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to list some names for you.
Okay.
And I just want you to give me the first few words about them that come to mind.
Okay.
Andrew Tomko.
Growing and becoming better every week.
Zarel Hendrick.
Playmaker.
Branson Smith.
Gonna be a great one. Fearless. And a lot of people in the league are going to know this young man sooner than later.
John Long.
Another one, true freshman that is going to be a great one and plays with great effort and passion. And real excited to see him continue to grow.
Walter Fletcher.
You know, special on and off the field, home run hitter, a great leader, a great person.
All right, and then lastly, we've heard so much this year about the team's motto, do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Why, in your words, is it so important to do the work every week?
No matter what anyone says, you show up and do the work. You know, you take a look at Edinboro University, and I sent a special message to the president because of the new motto, for those that strive. If you look at the parallels between do the work and for those that strive, it just encompasses what Edinboro is. Edinboro is a blue-collar place where people come that not everybody believes in, whether it be academically, whether it be athletically, whatever it may be. But the people who come to Edinboro are overachievers. And the people who come to Edinboro do the work every day, in the classroom, in the community, and on the field. And we take pride in our work ethic, and we take pride in getting up every day, and true grit leads to true success. And grit is perseverance and passion over a long period of time. And it just exemplifies what this program is all about. And you take a look at those 18 seniors that went from 0-11 to have now won 19 games and have never complained one time, and get up every day and do the work.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
You good, guys? That's enough. Appreciate it. Thanks for all you do.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. It's like tiny nails in the air poke my lungs. I start to cough. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital.
Today, 1 out of 13 children suffer from some form of asthma, accounting for nearly 1/3 of all emergency room visits.
I feel like I'm choking. It's kind of like an elephant is on my chest. A little whistle sound comes out when I breathe.
But while your child may suffer from asthma, asthma doesn't have to make your child suffer. You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Log on to www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. www.noattacks.org. Because even one attack is one too many.
I feel like a fish with no water.
Brought to you by the EPA, the Ad Council, and this station.
Welcome back to Edinboro University. Here with just a few minutes left until kickoff of the second half. The score tied 17-17 as the Edinboro Fighting Scots host the Gannon Golden Knights for their homecoming football game here in some PSAC West action. And as we take a look at the stats overall for the first half, we can figure out why this game is tied. Both teams really close on first down totals, 15 for Gannon, 11 for Edinboro, as well as total offense, 164 yards of total offense for Gannon, 187 for Edinboro. Edinboro with a slight edge there, but still really close. And as you look deeper at it, you see that it's not been a perfectly even game, as rushing, Gannon has the edge. They've got 90 rushing yards to Edinboro's 71, whereas in the air, Edinboro has 116 yards passing to Gannon's 74. So Gannon has that running game going a little bit stronger with Marcus Jones, the returning nationwide leading rusher from last year. But Andrew Tomko, who, by the way, is in his first season as the starting quarterback. He only had one start before this season, and that was on homecoming last year. So a very important day, a little momentous for him coming back, and a pretty strong showing so far. He is 7 for 15 for 116 yards in the air.
And yeah, look, compared to Jason Dombach, he completed 7 out of 13 passes, and he has not thrown a touchdown pass so far in this game. He only thrown one interception. And looking at against receiving, DeJuan Walker, He leads the team in receptions and yards, 4 receptions for 53 yards. The longest is 16. And Richard Mikowski, number 10 from Gannon, made 1 reception just for 21 yards.
And when you look at time of possession, you get an idea of the tempos that each team likes to play at. Gannon plays slow, but they hold on to the ball. They've got almost twice the time of possession as Edinboro, with over 19 minutes to just under 11 minutes for Edinboro. But at the same time, Edinboro has been shooting themselves in the foot a little bit on penalties. Gannon has just 5 penalties for 55 yards. Edinboro has 9 penalties for 91 yards. And this comes after Gannon had over 200 yards in penalties last week in their last game. So Gannon really turning it around here. We mentioned the story of going into this was Marcus Jones. How would he recover after just 22 yards on the ground last week? Comes back. He's already got 90 yards himself, 87 yards gained. So he's come back for sure. Gannon's discipline has improved as they've cut the penalties significantly. But one bright side for Edinboro is how they have played in the red zone. Something that head coach Wayne Bradford has stressed throughout the season has been converting red zone opportunities into touchdowns. And so far in this game, Edinboro is 3 for 3 in the red zone. Now, that isn't to say that Gannon isn't behind them on that. Gannon is 2 for 2 in the red zone. But Edinboro's offense is at least getting the job done when they get within the 20.
And yeah, that's right. That's a very good job by Edinboro. They capitalize every red zone opportunities. They're looking to do it again in the second half. And just to recap, again, it kicked off at the first half, and Edinboro got the football. Now it's Edinboro's turn to kick off, and the Golden Knights will receive. And number 94, Jake Monroe, will be the kicker for the kickoff to begin at the second half. Game still tied at 17.
Yeah, and just to give a quick recap of how we got to 17-17, Gannon started the game with 2 touchdowns before Edinboro finally came back, scored their first touchdown, and then a Jake Monroe field goal, his first completed field goal of the season. And then, of course, in the second quarter, Gannon came back with a touchdown of their own, and Edinboro in the some of the final minutes of the half Gannon had a field goal in the second quarter, and then Edinboro came back with a touchdown to even it up 17-17. And that's how we've gotten here, and we're just about set for kickoff in the second half. Jake Monroe, a skied kickoff high, will be fielded from Gannon's own 12. He's got a hole up the middle of all of his blockers. He gets hit, spins around, gets a couple more yards. He'll get all the way to Gannon's own 41-yard line.
That was by number 12, Nico Law, and that's a very good return and great field position for the Golden Knights to start at the second half. They'll be at the 40-yard line of their own territory, and we just have an Edinboro football player down right now.
Those kickoff plays, they're some of the toughest plays to be a part of. You never know what's going to happen, first of all. There's no real way to draw up a kickoff. You never know where the ball is going to end up getting kicked, no matter how good the kicker is. Where the ball ends up can change from kick to kick. So you can kind of do your best, but between how the kickoff return team is going to make those blocks, how your team's going to make those blocks, and what the returner's going to do, it's really kind of a wild card, and that's what makes those plays so dangerous. That Edinboro player did make his way off the field, so Gannon will start from their own 41, 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, and Marcus Jones to Jason Downbach's right. He will hand off to Marcus Jones for the first play from the line of scrimmage of the half. He'll make his way. Actually, he will not make his way back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of about 1. It'll be 2nd and 11 from their own 40 here to start the second half.
Yeah, Edinboro's defensive line, they're ready to see the similar plays from the first half. A good job containing Marcus Jones. And that'll be 2nd down and 11, and we'll have a spread receivers, 2 on each side. Jones on Dombach's right.
The ball placed on the far hash. Dombach takes the snap, hands it off to Marcus Jones, running right to left. He's around the corner. He leaps over DeAndre Dowdell, gets himself a first down before being brought down in Edinboro's territory on their own 44, but there's going to be a penalty in Gannon's backfield, and it looks like it will be on Gannon. There's actually 2 flags down.
Yeah, it's definitely holding against Gannon. I watched it the whole time, and that ball will be coming back, and probably a little further than that. So that's why Marcus Jones got a good run. And that holding penalty was by number 72, Brady Bowling from Liberty Township, Ohio. And now that'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Golden Knights.
And what a shame, because that was a great run by Marcus Jones, and that would have kicked off this second half for Gannon really strong. So they'll be starting second and long from their own 30-yard line. They'll start with 2 receivers on the far side, 2 on the near side. Marcus Jones to Dombach's left here with 14 minutes to go in the third quarter. Still tied at 17. He'll send the slot receiver on the near side over to the far side. Dombach takes a snap, looks to the middle of the field, now looks right. It's in and out of the hands of the receiver and picked off.
But the referee called it incomplete because whoever the Edinboro caught the interception, he just dropped it immediately. So close. So very close that Edinboro defense almost made the interception. But either way, it's third down and 21 against 30-yard line. A great defensive play by the Fighting Scots defense.
What a huge opportunity. Again, I mean, we just saw a huge opportunity by Marcus Jones on that rush that got taken back by the holding call, and a huge play there, potentially, but the ball getting dropped, so incompletion. Still third and long from Gannon's own 30-yard line. Spread out, 2 receivers either side. Marcus Jones to Dombach's right. He will fake the handoff to Jones, then throw deep down the sideline. Find his intended receiver. That's Joey Cox, the redshirt junior, down the sideline. He's got a first down and more. Gets all the way down to Edinboro's 42-yard line, and no flag on this play, so they will stay in Edinboro's territory now with just under 14 minutes to go, tied at 17.
And that's a big play by Joey Cox, all by himself, not covered, and get a big first down, just over 21 yards on that play. Now again, it's at the probably a 43 or 44-yard line at Edinboro's territory.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side. They did have split back, set one of them in motion. Dombach fakes the handoff, looks for the screen. It's not there, then looks downfield for Jacardi Brooks, the wide receiver, but he'll throw it past him out of bounds. Will be incomplete, and we'll have second and 10.
And number 13, Branson Smith, reading the quarterback, gets in front of the receiver and almost made an incredible interception. But it'll be, like you said, it'll be second down and 10 at the 42-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
And it's easy to see when you watch true freshman Branson Smith play why head coach Wayne Bradford thinks he's going to be a star soon. 3 receivers far side, sends one of them in motion towards the line, hands the ball off to Marcus Jones, who goes up the middle. He will get hit by a few different linemen and linebackers, but he will fall forward for about a 7-yard gain. So it'll be third and probably about 3 from inside Edinboro's 35-yard line now.
And that's a good play by Marcus Jones. Just as always, just find the gaps and create a big run. Now, it's, like I said, third down and 2 for Gannon at 34-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
Double tight end set again, 1 receiver either side. Hands the ball off to Marcus Jones, who goes up the middle. That line was collapsing quickly thanks to Edinboro's defensive line. So he will get back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. It'll be 4th and 2 now.
It looks like Gannon's offense is staying on the field to try to go for it. Maybe they're just trying to go for it just to force the defense to draw an offside and get a free first down.
And the tight end lined up, an extra tight end lined up behind the offensive line. Looks like they're going to try to run this ball up the middle. They do hand the ball off to Marcus Jones. A tackle attempt by Maurice Sims behind the line of scrimmage. Marcus Jones got free and tried to dive forward, but he barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, it was a loss of about a yard, maybe 2 yards. So it's a turnover on downs in Edinboro's territory here to start the second half.
At first, I thought he's going to break a tackle and get a big first down, but the Edinboro's defense, they knew what was going to come at them. They were fully prepared, And that was a big, important play. And now Edinboro gets the football, and they're looking to take the lead early in the third quarter.
Yeah, 12 minutes left here in the third quarter. Still tied at 17. Edinboro from their own 36-yard line. 3 receivers far side, 1 near side. Walter Fletcher in at Andrew Tomko's left hip. Hands the ball off to Walter Fletcher, who gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, but he's trying to break free. But that defender would not let go of his foot. It's a loss for Walter Fletcher and the Fighting Scots back into their own territory here from their own 32-yard line. And it'll be second and about 14.
And that tackle was by number 91, Malachi Woody. Good job by just not make sure Fletcher doesn't go anywhere after a huge loss.
3 receivers far side, 1 near side now for Tomko. Takes a snap, looks left, looking for someone open, finds Andre Dowdell Jr. down the line. He's got a first down and more before getting pushed out of bounds at Gannon's 45-yard line.
There's a flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a holding penalty against the Fighting Scots.
And this is the third play in just the beginning of this third quarter that we've seen come back for some sort of reason. This is the second time a penalty has stopped a huge advancement. The other one was the dropped interception by David Ballou of the Fighting Scots. So they will get backed up here. It'll be second and even longer from Edinboro. They need to get to their own 41-yard line, and they are currently at their own 22-yard line. It is 2 receivers on either side for Andrew Tomko, placed at the near hash. He will hand the ball off to Walter Fletcher, who goes wide to the far side. He's looking to get back to the line of scrimmage. He does get a gain of about 6 yards on the play. He'll get all the way down to their own 29-yard line.
Yeah, I think they're just running the football. That way the offense won't face tremendous pressure by Gannon's defense. And they're like 3rd and 24, and they have to go about near the midfield to get a first down.
So with the field flip, the ball now on the far hash, 3 receivers near side, 1 far side. Tomko looks for the screen pass. It goes off of Kyle Gaelick's shoulder pads. He wasn't even looking at the quarterback. He was tied up on a block. And so it'll be incomplete, 4th and long, and we're going to see Edinboro's punt team come out for the first time this half.
Yeah, that's a very quick play by Tomko. Tended to Gaelick, and then it was just bounced off his shoulder pad, and now Edinboro has to punt this football in the first drive of the third quarter.
The snap is good to Corey Badaracco, the punter, but the punt is high and will bounce in Edinboro's territory on Edinboro's side of the 50-yard line and bounce back towards Edinboro's end zone. So diving on it will be number 64 on Edinboro's side. That's Kyle Schreiner putting the stop to that roll. But Gannon will start their drive from Edinboro's 40-yard line here with just under 10 and a half minutes to go in the third quarter, still tied at 17.
I think the wind must have blown the football when it was in air, and that's what caused to give a great field position for the Golden Knights, and they'll be at the 40-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
Yeah, there is some heavy wind blowing. We are exposed to it, so we know what it's like. 3 receivers near side, 1 far side, sends that near side receiver in motion. It's a keep on the option play. Jason Danback to the 20, to the 15 before getting pushed down by Billy DePaul, the free safety. Edinboro's last chance on that play, on that option run. Danback faking the handoff to Marcus Jones, keeps it himself, doesn't pitch it to that receiver who had been sent in motion. They are now in Edinboro's 15-yard line. 3 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. Marcus Jones to Danback's right. Takes his time, takes the snap. This time fakes the handoff again to Marcus Jones. Takes off to the right-hand side and looks for a receiver. That was Joey Cox near the sideline, but throws it at his feet. It'll be incomplete. That was a great trick play that had Edinboro's defense fooled if he could have completed that pass.
That's a very good play by Danback. And he saw a very big hole to the outside to his left, went for it, and I thought he was going to score another touchdown to give the Golden Knights a lead.
Yeah, that was what they call a little bit of a run-pass option. Typically on an option play, you either keep it or you hand it off, but this one you keep it, you hand it off, or you can pass it. and he went for the pass on that one. 3 receivers far side, sends one of them in motion, but he's going to hand it off to Marcus Jones. Actually hand it off this time. He gets through the line, he's getting hit, but he's running forward, keeping those legs moving. He gets all the way down to Edinboro's 6-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Gannon.
That's a big hole there for Marcus Jones to find, and he kept driving his speed through a pile of both Gannon and Edinboro players, and gained just about probably 9 yards on the play. It's 3rd down and 1 at the 7-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
3 receivers far side, sends that one in motion again, hands it off to Marcus Jones again, gets through the line, he's got a 1st down, he's falling forward. Edinboro's trying to push him backwards. He will get brought down within the 1-yard line. So we'll see a little bit of goal line defense from the Fighting Scots here. It's 1st and goal for Gannon, looking to take the lead once more as we started fresh at a 17-point tie between both teams here. Just over 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Edinboro needs to step it up and needs to put the stop here to start this 3rd quarter.
This is an important drive for the Edinboro defense. They have to stop this big drive from Gannon.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Sends the near side receiver in motion, hands the ball off to Marcus Jones again with momentum, rushes into the end zone. He will get in on his feet as he got hit a couple times. It'll be a touchdown for Gannon. And it is just so hard to stop Marcus Jones, especially when he puts his head down and has those feet moving.
He just never quits. Never quits, always driving his feet. And that's what he did to get the touchdown for the Golden Knights, and they're up 23-17.
Brian Streibel, the true freshman kicker for Gannon. His first appearance of this half. For the extra point, it is up and is good. So it is 24-17 here with just under 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And Edinboro looking to get the ball back and make something happen here and tie up this game again.
WFSE is sponsored in part by the Edinboro Hotel Bar at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinboro, providing a variety of lunch and dinner items every day. Details are available at 814-734-5103 or online at EdinboroHotelBar.com. The Edinboro Hotel Bar, where you had me at hotel.
And that was a huge drive by Gannon. It took 6 plays, just 25 yards, actually. As I update my live stats screen here. A huge play, momentum on Gannon's side there as Edinboro looks to get a little momentum on their side. It actually was 5 plays, 40 yards on the touchdown for Gannon. A huge drive there, giving them the lead once more, 24-17. Like I mentioned, we started that half tied at 17-17. It kind of almost a fresh new game. It's almost like you started a brand new game, but you only get half the time now.
Yeah, and Gannon wasted no time on their 2nd drive, and then found some creative holes, especially from Dombach's like big opening play, all by himself with the option, and that's what got the big game for Gannon, and Marcus Jones sealed the deal with a touchdown on the 2nd drive early in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that option run by Dombach was definitely a game changer. Had everyone fooled. Luckily, Billy DePaul able to make the stop, but only delaying Gannon scoring, not preventing it altogether. Gannon's kickoff team will make their way down to the field as Zaril Hendrick and Kyle Galick make their way back for the return for Edinboro. Brian Streibel, who we've seen plenty of today, will handle the kickoff for Gannon. The kick is up. It's a low line drive towards the sideline. It is going to go out of bounds just barely. It went out of bounds briefly, and then as soon as it bounced again, bounced back in. So good fortune for Edinboro, that ball going out of bounds, the flag thrown because the kickoff went out. Edinboro is going to take the spot.
They'll take it at the 35-yard line after the kicking out of bounds penalty against Gannon.
kick out of bounds. Kicking touch by the receivers. Edinboro has decided to take the ball on the 35-yard line.
The referees, even though we knew the ball should get placed at the 35, the referees initially were placed at the 40. So a little bit of confusion there, but they do spot it at the 35 on the far hash because that's the side of the field the ball went out of bounds on. Two receivers near side, one far side for Tomko. Sends Tanaz Gregory, who was the far side receiver, in motion to the near side. Tomko looks now to the near side for the pass. Doesn't see anyone open. He's going to keep it himself. He's all the way down to the first down mark before getting tackled out of bounds. He'll get just enough. They'll rule about 11-yard gain. It will move the chains. There'll be a first down for Edinboro, this time from their own 46-yard line.
And good job by Tomko. Trying to find an open receiver. Receivers are covered. And like, hey, no problem. I'll take it all the way for myself. And it's a first down for the Fighting Scots.
Two receivers far side, one near side. Sends Nas Gregory in motion again, but as they snap the ball, a flag, and it's going to be a false start on Edinboro.
And that's not what you want. Like, after a great run by Tomko, and now, like, they're pushing back right out near the 40-yard line. So hopefully they can get that out of the way, get another first down, or just maybe a couple of good yards.
Tomko comes out, three receivers near side, one far side on a 1st and 15 play. He'll hand the ball off to Walter Fletcher going around the corner on the far side. He'll get brought down from behind as he had about a 7-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and 8, or maybe 2nd and 9 for Edinboro. The ball spotted at their own 47-yard line. Will be 2nd and 9. Edinboro attempting to retie up this game or possibly take the lead. Just under 8 minutes to go. It's 17-24. Gannon on top. Three receivers near side, one far side. Tomko looks to Fletcher in the flat on the far side. He will connect with him. Fletcher will get a few more yards after the catch before getting brought down. Gets all the way down to Gannon's 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Edinboro.
Good, like a fancy footwork by Fletcher. Feel like a little dance with one of the Gannon players. Says, hey, go move to the left, move to the right, then gain a bunch of yards.
Two receivers near side, one far side. Sends Tanaz Gregory in motion once more to the near side. Tomko looks deep down the sideline for James Clark. There's some separation. He makes the catch down the sideline within Gannon's 10-yard line. We'll see where they spot the ball. And they're going to spot it at Gannon's 7-yard line. It looked like someone on Gannon's defensive line jumped, but there was no flag on the play. But Tomko still taking the opportunity to throw deep down the sideline. And there was a flag on the play, actually.
Yeah, there was an offside, but that play would be declined after a big passing play by Tomko to Clark. And Edinboro is really close to tie the game once again.
Three receivers far side, one near side. The ball placed on the near hash from Gannon's 7-yard line. First and goal. Trailing 17-24 with just over 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tomko is going to take the snap. Look for James Clark running the slant route. Doesn't see him open. Tries to take it himself, but he can't get through the line, so he decides to throw the ball to James Clark, who found himself open just near the power line on the near sideline. That's a touchdown for Edinboro. And not the first chance, not the second chance, but the third effort by Edinboro. Tomko eventually deciding to throw the ball to James Clark, who dove and just barely kept his feet in the end zone.
Yeah, like Tomko, he originally thought he was going to run for the football, but then like, wait, hang on, let me see if I can do a pass play. Finds Clark, a little touching pass, and good fancy footwork for Clark just to make sure he's inbounds and held the possession of the football. And now Jake Muller's looking to get the point extra attempt, and it's up, and it is good. And now we're tied at 24. Late in with 7 minutes and 1 second left in the third quarter. So that's a very big play from Tomko to Clark after like drawing an offside, and another play from Tomko to Clark from like just 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, absolutely perfect connection between those two. We've seen miscommunications between different receivers and the quarterbacks, but Tomko and Clark just seem to have, they know what's on each other's minds. The intended route was a slant by Clark into the end zone, but he was covered. So Tomko was going to keep it himself. He tucks the ball, finds his way back to the line of scrimmage, but there's defensive lineman there in his way. So he decides to try to bounce it to the outside, and that's when he sees James Clark, who had been using his fancy footwork to find a corner of the end zone where he would be open, and makes the diving catch. An excellent effort all around. The offensive line protecting Tomko as long as he needed to be able to get that pass off. And like you mentioned, now we're back tied up at 24 with just over 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. We're going to go ahead and take a 30-second break. We'll be right back. You are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
For some people, difficult transitions like retirement, divorce, or loss of a loved one may contribute to feelings of hopelessness or even thoughts of suicide. The risk of suicide is even higher for men over 50 who've served our country, guys like me. Support from friends and family makes such a big difference. Every day, your actions could help save a life. Learn how you can help at veteranscrisisline.net.
Welcome back to Edinboro University here at Sox Harrison Stadium, where the Edinboro Fighting Scots football team is hosting the Gannon Golden Knights for Edinboro's homecoming game. The stands are packed, as they have been since the beginning of this game. Fans taking the opportunity to enjoy the nice weather on the lawns that line the sidelines just beyond the stands. And what a great game they have been witnessing here. Just over 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. We are back tied. After the first half ended tied at 17. Now we are back tied at 24, and Jake Monroe set up for the kickoff. His kick is up. A line drive that will be fielded right about Gannon's 10-yard line with a blocker in front of him. No, there's too many red jerseys for his liking. Decides to go the other direction, but he'll get brought down at Gannon's 21-yard line. There is a flag.
I see a block on the back against Gannon, so I think that might be, I don't know if it's a 5 or 10-yard penalty, but either way, it will push Gannon back, probably near the 10-yard line. It'll be a first down and 10 on, I think, their third drive of the third quarter. So it'll be a 10-yard penalty for the Gannon Golden Knights, and the ball will be spotted at about the 11-yard line in Gannon's territory. And once again, we're still tied at 24 with less than 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And that block in the back was on Reginald Hamlet Jr., a freshman defensive back on the special teams there for Gannon. So all the way backed up to their own 11. They'll come out with 3 receivers near side. Just Marcus Jones to Jason Dombach's left. Dombach will take the snap, hand it off to Marcus Jones, running around the corner to the right-hand side. Spins around a defender. He's gotten all the way down to the 24-yard line before getting brought down. That is a first down for Gannon as they move the chains here with under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, Jones rolled on the outside, breaks a tackle, and gains enough for a first down for the Golden Knights. And they're about at the 29-yard line in their own territory. 2 receivers near the near side, 1 on the far side. And I think there's a tight end on the far side. Jones on Dombach's left. The far receiver moves in motion. Hands it off to Jones, and he's going nowhere. Probably gain about maybe just 1 yard on the play. It'll be second down and 9.
So the ball placed at Gannon's 24-yard line. They will send some new receivers into the game. They'll start off 3 receivers on the near side, and they'll put 1 on the far side with Marcus Jones to Dombach's left. Ball placed on the far hash. The wide side of the field is closest to us as Gannon moves right to left here in the third quarter. Dombach takes a snap, looks to the right sideline for a hook route, and connects with the intended receiver, who does not get brought down initially. He will get, it looks like, close to a first down, but just short. It'll be 3rd and 1 from Gannon's own 34-yard line.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Jones to down box right, snaps the football, hands off to Jones, and held it out of nowhere. I thought it was going to be an option play, but down box keeps the football. It'll be a loss about a couple of yards. It'll be 4th down. That is a huge play by Edinboro's defense, and Edinboro will get the football back, and again will punt.
Gannon will send their punt team out. Zarel Hendrick back to return the punt for Edinboro. Ball spotted at Gannon's own 28 yard line. A little bit of confusion on who's supposed to be on the punt team for Gannon. The special team's comprised of a lot of youngsters, a lot of freshmen and sophomore. Jumping on both sides of the line as the ball is snapped. And we will see from the referees who jumped first. It looks like they're going to back it up into Gannon's territory. So it'll be a false start on Gannon.
Number 10, John Long is at midfield, while Zarel Hendrick is be the long returner right at the 35-yard line at Edinboro's territory.
The snap to the punter, a little bit of a rugby-style kick. A deep punt. Zarel Hendrick bobbles it from their own 40, then gets hit. He loses the ball. He's trying to fall on it. There's a bunch of white jerseys on that pile as well, but the referees do rule it will be Edinboro's ball from their own 43-yard line.
And that was too close. Too close by Hendrick, but some way, somehow, they still get the football, and they're looking to take the lead with 4 minutes and 17 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, after the great stop by Edinboro's defense, now an opportunity here to take the lead after trailing for most of this game. Actually, all of the game. I don't think they've had the lead at all so far. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side for Andrew Tomko, Walter Fletcher to his right. The tight end in on the line on the near side as well. The lone receiver on the near side in motion to the far side. That's James Clark, who runs the flat. But instead, Tomko will look to Fletcher on the other side, who avoids a defender, gets a first down, and is finally brought down in Gannon's territory at Gannon's 43-yard line. And another really close tackle that seems to resemble a horse collar.
Yeah, that should have been a flag there. It should have gained more than probably just 10 yards. But another first down for the Fighting Scots.
3 receivers far side for Edinboro. The tight end in on the near side. Tomko hands it off to Fletcher running around to the near sideline. He will finally get hit, and there are flags on the play as he gets knocked out of bounds. It's a gain of about 3.
And look at one of the referees say face mask against Gannon.
There were some gasps from the crowd as Fletcher got hit. We didn't quite see exactly what the infraction was here, but we will be told shortly as the referee is talking it over right now. It is possible that there's more than one penalty on the play.
The offset and penalties for both Edinboro and Gannon. It looks like it will still be first down and 10 for the Fighting Scots, so no yards gained, no yards were lost.
Yeah, some holding from Edinboro, but a face mask by Gannon. They cancel each other out, so the couple yards gained by Fletcher nullified. They'll come back 3 receivers far side, the tight end in on the line on the near side. They'll send one of those far side receivers in motion, but hand off to Kyle Galick, who's in the game now. Gets back to the line of scrimmage before getting brought down. He'll get a gain of about 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Edinboro here. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The game's still tied at 24.
Yeah, trying to do a little trickery against, again, defensive line. They think they're trying to give the ball to number 18, Andre Dowdell, but it was given to Kyle Galick on the carry.
So 3 receivers bunched up on the near side, 1 receiver far side. It'll be a pitch to Kyle Galick, who takes the ball around the corner. He's getting hit a couple times before finally getting taken down hard. That was number 30, Jamal Hayden is Edinboro's number 30. That was Keith Thompson, the freshman linebacker from Gannon, who brought down Kyle Galick, lifted him up and took him down, manhandled him. 2 receivers either side now. 3rd and 10 for Edinboro. Kyle Galick to Tomko's right. Actually, Walter Fletcher back in the game. Tomko looks deep to the left. Before he can get the pass off, he is sacked. And that sack is by Andrew Berger, the redshirt junior defensive lineman. 6'3", 265 pounds. You do not want to get hit by that one. So it'll be 4th and long for Edinboro, but they're going to keep their offense out. We'll see if we have seen Andrew Tomko punt in these kinds of situations. He will take a couple steps back, take the snap. It's low, but he will get the punt off. It will bounce at Gannon's 25 and bounce towards Gannon's sideline in Edinboro's favor. It'll be downed at Gannon's 15-yard line, so that's where Gannon will begin their next drive. And now, way past the end of the play, a flag is thrown near a collection of Gannon players. So we'll have to see what this gets called.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team, number 69. 15 yards from the end of the kick. First down. It's number 69 first.
And that penalty is unsportsmanlike conduct by Trey Staunch, the right tackle for Edinboro. Uncharacteristic of him, but the offensive line known for sticking up for their teammates. So we know there have been a lot of words exchanged. We know there has been a lot of extracurriculars going on down on the field. So not surprising to see tempers flare there. But with the ball initially down at the 15, the penalty will let Gannon begin their drive from their own 30. They'll come out 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, and a tight end on the far side as well. The far side receiver brought in motion to the near side, and the handoff to Marcus Jones, who gets hit behind the line of scrimmage but won't get brought down until he's about 2 yards past it. Maybe 1 yard. So it'll be 2nd and 9 for Gannon from their own 31.
A good job by the defensive line, containing the gaps, making sure that Marcus Jones doesn't go anywhere.
It'll be 2nd and 9. Clock ticking away, just over a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Both teams trying to figure out what they have to do to break this almost stalemate, this back and forth action. 3 receivers bunched up on the near side, 1 on the far side. One of the near side ones heads over to where the quarterback is stationed, but he hands it off to Marcus Jones, who will get stopped at the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards by a couple of different Edinboro players. They'll give him forward progress, so a gain of 0. 3rd and 9 again for Gannon now.
Yeah, it's like the defensive line, they're ready, prepared to make a tackle against Marcus Jones. And it's not just one player. There are probably 4 or 5 players make a good tackle on Jones.
The 3 receivers on the near side for Gannon moving right to left in their white jerseys with black helmets up against Edinboro's all red uniforms. 3 receivers near side, 1 far side. The running back to Dombach's right. Dombach takes a snap. He's looking for a pass down the right sideline. It's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, DeJuan Walker, but there were 2 Fighting Scots, including Zerrell Hendrick, on top of him, who attempted to come down with the interception, but it'll be incomplete. 4th and 9, and we'll see Gannon's punt team come out.
Another great coverage by the secondary of Edinboro, making sure they don't allow another completion from the Gannon's offense. And like you said, Gannon will punt the football, and Edinboro will get the football back.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of 3-and-outs from Gannon, but this drive, despite starting it with the aid of that unsportsmanlike conduct call, they will not be able to get past 1 yard of gain. Zerrell Hendrick back to receive the punt. He will eventually take it on a hop from their own 20, avoid a tackle, get only 4 more yards out of the deal, 5 yards, as he gets back to Edinboro's 25-yard line. That was a low line drive punt that was hard to return, and Zarel Hendrick just did what he could with it.
Yeah, like you said, did what he could. Give some good field position as they can, and it looks like they'll start about the 31-yard line of their own territory. And give a look at other scores from the PSAC. Westchester remains undefeated as they defeated Shippensburg 28-21. And right now, Seton Hill is playing Clarion, and the Griffins are up 7-6 against the Golden Eagles with 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the first quarter. And later today at 6 p.m., Mercyhurst will visit Slippery Rock. Same time for IUP against California. At 6:05, Bloomsburg will take on Kutztown. Then at 7 p.m., Lockhaven will take on Texas A&M Commerce.
And of course, on Thursday, East Stroudsburg visited Millersville, and that game ended Millersville taking the win 11-10. That's your PSAC action that's been going on this weekend.
And next week, Edinboro will face another local Erie College football team. They'll be at Mercyhurst. That game will start at noon.
We will be on the call for that one, as always, here on 88.9 WFSE. And of course, as we mentioned earlier today, women's soccer hosted Westchester University in their homecoming game. That game, like this game, was being broadcast on ESPN3. This game being broadcast on ESPN3. And Edinboro's next game at Mercyhurst, we will be there on radio. You can catch that game on ESPN3 as well. You can always catch your Fighting Scots somewhere, usually through WFSE. Women's soccer hosted Westchester. They lost 0-1. That goal by Westchester came late in the second half. It was scoreless for most of the game. And women's volleyball, after losing 3-0 yesterday at California University, today they also lost 3-0 at Seton Hill University. So the Fighting Scots football team looking to get Edinboro's sole win of the weekend as we wait for the cross-country results from the Loyola Lakefront Invite in Chicago.
And yet, right now, Edinboro's offense is back on the field at the 25-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. And Walter Fletcher is on Andrew Tomko's right.
And they decide to switch up the play call, so they look at the sidelines. Edinboro has their new assignments here on 1st and 10. Gannon brings the pressure. Tomko hands it off to Walter Fletcher. The rush does no good. Fletcher gets through the line. He's got about 7 yards on the play before being brought down by Gannon secondary.
Another big hole up in the middle by Fletcher. Game about, well, like you said, probably 7 yards on the play. Now it's 2nd and 3 for Edinboro. And now it's going to be a spread formation. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 on the far side. Walter Fletcher still on Tomko's right.
In that spread offense, Tomko back for the snap. He drops back for the pass. He's looking over the middle of the field, but the pocket collapses, and he's brought down for a sack. That's the combination of Roderick Carson Jr. and I believe that was Joshua Jackson as well in there on the sack. Sorry, no, Tyree Sutton in for the sack. 2 guys teaming up to take Tomko down. So it is 3rd and 8 now for Edinboro from their own 27-yard line. Spread out, empty backfield, 3 receivers far side, 2 near side. Gannon jumps, so Tomko looks downfield for Tanaz Gregory, but will overthrow him. The flag on the play should be offsides on Gannon, which is why they went deep on the free play there. But Tanaz Gregory, slow to come up on the ground in Gannon's, or along Gannon's sideline. It was offside, so the ball will move, and it'll be 3rd and 3 for Edinboro when they resume play. And Tanaz Gregory also went down last week against California. And I mentioned at the top of the broadcast when Tanaz Gregory didn't come out for the kickoff return despite the fact that he's currently tied for the record at Edinboro for career kickoff returns for touchdowns, he is not out because last week he suffered some sort of injury, had something happen to him that he didn't participate in any more returns, and he only participated in, I would say, 75% of the offensive plays. And so today we haven't seen him on kickoff returns or punt returns. Zarel Hendrick taking over punt return duties, and Zarel Hendrick being joined by Kyle Galick on kickoff returns. Tanaz Gregory does get up, and he's trotting off to the sidelines onto his own power, so that is good to see. And like I mentioned, it'll be 3rd and 3 from Edinboro's own 32-yard line here. Just under 14 minutes to go, tied at 24.
Yeah, they got to convert this 3rd down if they want to keep this drive alive, and if they want to score points, now's the time to do it.
When you look back at games, one of the most telling signs of how a team has done is based on those 3rd down and sometimes 4th down conversions. If you can't make the big plays when they matter, you're probably not making the big plays when they don't matter, and then you're probably not scoring a whole lot.
And yeah, looking at some team statistics, Edinboro has 272 total yards so far in this game. Gannon has 255. The Golden Knights have 144 rushing yards compared to Fighting Scots' 89. And looking at the first downs, Gannon has 19, while Edinboro has 14. Gannon completed 5 out of 11 third down conversions, while Edinboro completed 3 out of 8. And looking at the turnover margins, Edinboro only has 2 compared to Gannon's 1.
Edinboro's offense making their way back out to the field. They took a little bit of a media timeout there with the injury. They come out with 3 receivers far side, 1 near side, moving right to left as you look at your radio dial. Tomko takes the handoff to Walter Fletcher, then takes it himself. He gets a first down. They will move the chains as he gets all the way to their own 36-yard line here with just under 14 minutes to go in the game.
Great job by Tomko with the option play, forcing the defensive line to focus on Fletcher, and he just gained about just a good amount of yards for enough for a first down.
They come out spread offense, 2 receivers either side now. Fletcher to Tomko's left. Offensive line reading a little bit of pressure from Gannon, making the adjustments. Tomko takes the snap, looks for the short slant route to James Clark, connects with him. He's got a first down. After getting a couple of yards after the catch, he'll get all the way down to the 47, to Edinboro's own 47-yard line as they move the sticks here, and Edinboro's offense keeps moving downfield.
Beautiful play from Tomko to Clark. Clark running the slant route, and Tomko just threading the needle to gain another first down for the Fighting Scots.
2 receivers near side, 2 receivers far side. Fletcher to Tomko's left as the ball placed at the far hash. Tomko looks right again. He's going to keep it, but he is going to get hit hard, and he loses the ball as it comes down, and a white jersey, a Gannon Golden Knights, falls on it. That's going to be a fumble recovery for the Golden Knights in Edinboro's territory, and a big loss for the Fighting Scots here.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I thought he would be down by contact, but the ball was already came out before he hit the ground, and that's not really wanted. And now it's up to Edinboro's defense to make a big stop on this next drive from Gannon, as they'll start right about the 36-yard line in Edinboro's territory.
That was Trey McNeil, the sophomore defensive back, who ended up falling on that ball for Gannon. I'm sure they'll be buying him a steak tonight. He came up limping a little bit, so we'll see if he comes back in. They come out 3 receivers near side, 1 far side for Jason Dombach. Marcus Jones to his right. Takes his time, takes the snap, drops back looking for the pass, looks right, looks left, finds a receiver downfield, but in front of it is Zarel Hendrick without even a challenge, makes the interception, and will step out of bounds as soon as he catches it. They're inside Edinboro's 10-yard line. On their 8-yard line is where they will start the drive, but a huge stop after the fumble for Edinboro.
I said, but before this next drive, they're going to need a big stop against Gannon, and that's what he did, was just one play. And great job by Hendrick, just covering the wide receiver, and then looks to find the football. And beautiful catch, and make sure he kept staying in bounds, and make sure he got the football. Now, once again, the Fighting Scots have the football, and they need to go all the way for a touchdown if they want to take the lead.
Yeah, you will have trouble if you continue to challenge the real Hendrick. That is for sure, especially down the sideline. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side for the Fighting Scots. Fletcher in at Tomko's left. Sends the far receiver in motion, then hands it off to Fletcher, who goes up the middle, cuts back a couple times, gets past the line of scrimmage in a gain of about 3 yards on the play. It should be 2nd and about 7 for Edinboro.
That's a good play, just not a lot of yards, but you still want to move the sticks forward. That would make it easier to make another great play and hopefully get another first down.
2 receivers near side, 1 far side, the tight end on the line on the far side. Fletcher in at Tomko's right. Gannon switching up the look that they're giving the offensive line, showing pressure, then not showing pressure. The handoff to Walter Fletcher is bobbled, hits the ground, and Fletcher falls on it. It'll be a loss of probably everything they just gained on that run. It'll be about 3rd and 9 for Edinboro from their own 9-yard line with 11 and a half minutes to go. The game's still tied at 24. They'll go with an empty backfield on the 3rd and 9. 3 receivers near side, 2 far side. They're trying to go right to left here. Gannon showing a little bit of pressure with no extra blocker in the backfield for Tomko. They will bring that pressure. Someone's unblocked off the edge. Tomko getting the pass off as soon as he can, but it's over the hands of A.J. Turner, the tight end, down the sideline.
But there's a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to be roughing the passer against the Gannon defense. I think it's on number 44, Noah Harris-Lyles, and he's not very pleased with the call if the penalty is against him.
It is indeed against Noah Harris-Lyle, the junior. And when you're a defensive end, there aren't many times that you end up completely unblocked rushing the passer on a passing play, and that's exactly what happened with him. And what happens is your eyes get wide open. You're so intent on making that hit that you just do it even after the pass gets off. So Tomko got off the pass quickly enough. They come back out. 3 receivers on the near side, tight end on the far side on the line. They'll hand it off to Walter Fletcher, who makes his way around the corner. He's making his way to the sideline. He will get about 2 yards before getting pushed out of bounds all the way to Edinboro's 25-yard line.
And Fletcher had nowhere to go. Tries to run out the outside, trying to gain some yards, but the defensive line still hold their ground. And I think maybe they did. No, it'll still be a 2nd and 10 at about the 25-yard line.
It'll be 2nd and 9. They just adjusted the scoreboard. 3 receivers near side, 1 far side. Fletcher in at Tomko's left hip. The ball on the far hash. Tomko is going to look for a pass on the left-hand side. Finds Walter Fletcher in the flat. He'll make the catch and get brought down, but it'll be a loss as Fletcher was running the flat behind the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and long. It looks like 3rd and 12 probably for Edinboro here from their own 22-yard line.
That was a tackle by number 30, Keith Thompson. He stayed with Fletcher the whole time, and after the completion, he makes sure that Fletcher doesn't go anywhere, and he pushed him a little further back. Like you said, it's 3rd down 12 for Edinboro. They need to convert this play right now if they want to keep this drive alive, and if they want to put points on the board.
Empty backfield again. 3 receivers far side, 2 near side as the wind picks up here at Sox Harrison Stadium. Tomko looking deep for Andre Dowdell Jr. down the line, but it's way over his head, and they will not be saved by a flag this time. It'll be 4th down for Edinboro at their own 22-yard line after the incompletion. Just under 10 minutes to go. Still tied at 24. It was a big opportunity to score, but Edinboro not able to capitalize after the interception by Zaril Hendrick. We'll see the punt team come out. It looks like Corey Badaracco will handle the punting for Edinboro here. From within the 10-yard line, he gets the rugby-style punt off down towards the sideline. It will bounce out of bounds, and they'll rule that it went out of bounds at Edinboro's 41-yard line, which is where Gannon will start their drive here with 9 minutes, 39 seconds left in this game. Still tied at 24. We're going to go ahead and take a 1-minute break here. You are listening to 88.9 WFSE Fighting Scots Radio.
NHL star Matt Martin for American Humane.
I've had my fair share of bruises and injuries. But for many who put their lives on the line every day, it's not always the injuries you can see that hurt the most. Every single day, 184 veterans are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. When medications and therapy don't help, professionally trained service dogs can. American Humane has created a free guide to help veterans obtain these life-saving animals. For help, please go to AmericanHumane.org.
The Edinboro Sports Network is your source for live coverage of Fighting Scots athletics. Enjoy all of the action on 88.9 WFSE and EdinboroNow.com, with many home games also featured on ETV. Support for this game broadcast is provided in part by the Edinboro Hotel Bar, serving a variety of lunch and dinner items every day from their location at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinboro. Information is at 814-734-5103 or online at EdinboroHotelBar.com.
Welcome back to Edinboro University here as the Edinboro Fighting Scots are hosting the Gannon Golden Knights. It's some PSAC West football action here on Edinboro's homecoming as part of the homecoming festivities. The main event, the main attraction, the big football game against Erie County rival Gannon. The game currently tied at 24 with 9 minutes 39 seconds left in the game. We just saw Edinboro unable to capitalize on a Zaril Hendrick interception. By the way, that interception gives him 19 career interceptions. He is now tied for second in Edinboro's all-time list for interceptions. If he gets one more, he'll be tied with Chris Avery, who currently has first place on the leaderboards with 20 career interceptions. Gannon will start the drive from Edinboro's 41-yard line. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Sends him in motion to the near side. Hands the ball off to Marcus Jones, who goes around the corner. He is untouched. He gets hit and pushed out of bounds all the way down Edinboro's 22. As they back it up more like the 25-yard line. A huge gain, a first down for Gannon. And they are now at Edinboro's 25-yard line as they start that drive hot with a huge run from Marcus Jones.
That's a good job by Jones. Find an open hole to the outside of the offensive line and get another first down on Gannon.
3 receivers near side now, tight end on the far side. Another handoff to Marcus Jones, who has to bounce it back from one side to the other. He'll get past the line of scrimmage in a gain of about 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Gannon. Maybe a gain of about 2. No, it is 1. From Edinboro's 24-yard line.
Yeah, the Edinboro defense knew there's going to be another running play and make sure they contain on Jones.
This time they send the 3 receivers to the far side. Marcus Jones still at down box right-hand side. They will hand it off again. Jones will attempt to go up the middle, but he'll get brought down by 4 different Edinboro defenders. He'll get a gain of about another 1 yard. So it'll be 3rd and 8 for Gannon from Edinboro's 23-yard line. Just under 8.5 minutes to go, tied at 24 here. And Gannon lines back up. This time a little bit of a spread offense. 2 receivers either side with Marcus Jones to Dombach's left. Dombach reading Edinboro's defense. As Gannon's crowd cheering them on to convert here, Dombach will drop back for the pass, look right down the sideline. And it's an incomplete pass, but Zaril Hendrick, who was blocking on the play, had the ball hit off his back. He did not have he was not facing the play. He had his back to the play. He wasn't playing the ball, he was playing the defender, and that's how you get past interference called on you.
And actually, I think the referee saying no, doesn't look like it'd be a pass interference play against Edinboro. I'm not really sure, but there's no flag. There's no flag against Edinboro.
I don't really understand how, but it's not my job to make that call. It's theirs. Again, they have a much better view of everything going on there. So with the incomplete pass, it'll be 4th and 8, and Gannon's offense is going to stay out there, trying to convert here in Edinboro's territory at Edinboro's own 23-yard line, just under 8 minutes to go. They'll come back out, spread offense, 2 receivers either side. Marcus Jones to Dombach's left. And we will get a timeout called here with all of the excitement going on, the important 4th down play. Gannon will call a timeout and figure out what their money play is, what that play that's going to get them that 1st down conversion is going to be.
Supporters of WFSC include John's Wildwood Pizzeria, featuring a selection of pizza, hoagies, wings, salads, and more. John's is open daily at 105 Erie Street in Edinboro. Information is at 814-734-7355 or on the web at johnswildwoodpizza.com.
7 minutes, 54 seconds left in this game. This has been a back-and-forth game from the start. Gannon led off with 2 touchdowns. Edinboro came back with a touchdown, then a field goal. Gannon responds with a field goal. Edinboro responds with a touchdown. That's how we get to the halftime score. And then each team comes back out. The halftime score 17-17, by the way. Each team comes out, scores a touchdown early in the 3rd quarter, and we haven't been able to score since. We've been at a stalemate going back and forth here.
Yeah, right now it's a game of defense between Edinboro and Gannon. One of the offenses are looking to break through the stalemate. Gannon's trying to find a way to get a 4th down, maybe even more, while Edinboro is looking for a plan to stop the run against the Golden Knights.
Yeah, both teams have to figure out how to keep the ball out of the hands of each other's secondaries. Defensive backs interceptions accounting for a couple of turnovers in this half. Some fumbles accounting for some turnovers, or at least some extra drama, even if they're recovered by their own team. A little bit of a personnel change for Edinboro here as they seek to defend this 4th down play, this important 4th and 8 play from Edinboro's 23-yard line. Gannon comes out, still in a spread offense, 2 receivers either side. Marcus Jones to Jason Dombach's left. The ball spotted at the near hash. Edinboro showing a little bit of pressure. They do bring that pressure. Dombach getting the pass off quickly, and a huge miscommunication with DeJuan Walker, who thought he was running a hook route almost. He had started turning around, and Dombach threw the pass as though he expected Walker to just keep running.
You know, I thought if Gannon converts the 4th down and if they score a touchdown, I thought the game would be over because, you know, during the last about 15 minutes or more, it was just, like I said, it's a game of defense between Edinboro and Gannon, and if Gannon did score a touchdown, then Gannon's defense will control Edinboro's offense, but we're still tied at 24 after the failed 4th down conversion, and Edinboro is still looking to score points to take the lead with less than 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
They will start from their own 23-yard line. They'll start with bunched up receivers, 3 receivers on the far side close to the offensive line. Tomko takes a snap, pitches it over to Walter Fletcher, who attempts a lateral back to Andrew Tomko, but it's behind Tomko, but the referee says it was a forward pass, so it's not a fumble. It's an incomplete pass, and we'll reset here 2nd and 10 for Edinboro.
That was another close play. Thought it would be another fumble, but thanks to the referees, it was another incomplete pass.
Edinboro comes out, 3 receivers far side, tight end on the near side. Gannon's defense jumps a little bit, but Edinboro not getting the ball off, so they can't capitalize on the offsides. Fletcher moving over to Tomko's left. That's the near side as Edinboro is moving right to left as you look at your dial. Tomko takes a snap, drops back. He's looking for A.J. Turner, the tight end, in the middle of the field, but he can't get it off. There's too much pressure. He attempts to throw the ball out of bounds to simply get rid of it, but it's picked off by Gannon. I believe that was number 2, Martell Davis, the redshirt senior, who had the presence of mind to run to the sideline and make the catch before falling out of bounds. And so what was intended to just be throwing the ball away and get yourself a new down is now an interception and a huge opportunity for Gannon here.
At first, I thought he ran out of bounds by the time he caught the football, but somehow he got 1 foot in, and now Gannon has the football back near the midfield.
2 receivers either side for Gannon. Marcus Jones to Jason Dombach's right. Dombach will take the snap, hand it off to Marcus Jones, running through the left side of the offensive line. After the play, he's brought down at the line of scrimmage, but after the play, there are some flags thrown as the extracurricular activities in this game continue. They are not going away anytime soon.
That's why this is a local rival between those two teams. They want to play hard football on every play.
With 7.5 minutes to go, I mentioned Marcus Jones just got back to the line of scrimmage. It was a gain of 0. The ball was spotted at Edinboro's 47-yard line. They're now going to move it back.
And now for the first time in a while, after a chop block penalty against Gannon, the Golden Knights are now in their own territory about the 37-yard line in their own territory. So it'll be a first down and 25 for the Golden Knights.
And they'll come out with spread out receivers, 2 on either side for Jason Dombach. Looks like Marcus Jones will line up to Dombach's right. On the 1st and long, they'll send the slot receiver on the far side in motion to the near side. Dombach will look for that receiver on a short route, but it is blocked at the line, swatted away by Edinboro's dominant defensive line. An incomplete pass will be 2nd and long.
Yeah, that was deflected by number 66, Derek Dorr. Good heads-up play, deflects the pass from Dombach. Now it's like 2nd and 25. I don't know why I think it's a 2nd down play, but it is 2nd and 25, but I thought that was a 2nd down play and it would be a 3rd down.
Derek Dorr, who was named the defensive captain this week with the SWAT. 2 receivers either side for Gannon once more. Marcus Jones to Dombach's left. Dombach taking his time, reading Edinboro's defense, drops back for the pass. He's looking over the middle of the field. It gets swatted away again, this time by Ryan Bischoff, the linebacker for Edinboro.
Yeah, he swapped the football out of the hands, I think, on number 19, Logan Clark. Beautiful play. And now it's 3rd down and 25 for the Golden Knights. And this will be a huge conversion attempt for Gannon.
2 receivers either side for Gannon. Marcus Jones in at Dombach's right. Edinboro playing a little bit deeper coverage. Just needs to prevent the 1st down. Doesn't need to reinvent the wheel here. Dombach drops back, looks for the snap. A diving Zaril Hendrick in, attempting to make the interception, but the ball bounces out of his hands as the ball was underthrown to the intended receiver, Joey Cox. So it'll be 4th and long, and Gannon will send out their punt team.
Good job by Hendrick, reading the quarterback on where he's going to throw. He was so close once again to have another interception. But either way, Edinboro will get the football back when Gannon punts it.
Back from inside their own 40-yard line, and the punter stationed at the 23-yard line. The punt, a low-line drive, it's rolling. It'll be fielded by Zaril Hendrick at Edinboro's 16-yard line. He goes one way, then has to go the other way. He'll get brought down at the 20. Short return for Zaril Hendrick, but a tough one to return after that punt. That was by Jared Morrison, the senior punter from Gannon, who has impressed in his opportunities thus far.
Yeah. Hendrick, he did a good job of scooping the football. If he didn't, then the chances are the football will continue to bounce, probably like near maybe the 3-yard line of their own territory. But nice for him to start the drive at the 20-yard line and not like about the 4 or 5-yard line.
Like you said, it's a big risk letting that ball roll if it doesn't get all the way into the end zone. then you could get pinned deep in your own territory. So good presence of mind by Zero Hendrick, picking up that ball and getting a couple of yards on the return.
Support for WFSC is provided in part by Bonnell's Auto Glass in Fairview, offering professional automotive glass repair, window tinting, and window replacement services. Information is available online at bonnellsautoglass.com.
So we are still tied here at Sox Harrison Stadium. 6 minutes, 45 seconds left in the game. Tied 24 to 24. We are so proud to be bringing you this coverage live here on 88.9 WFSC Edinboro. We wouldn't have it any other way. We'll be here every game of the season. You can count on us, we promise. And this game is coming down to the wire as we speak. As Edinboro talking over what they have to do in this drive to get that ball into the end zone, which is something neither team has been able to do for a long time now.
Yeah, as I said before, it's the battle of the defense, and either both teams not allowing the offense to score a touchdown so far in the fourth quarter, and now Edinboro's offense will go back on the field once again, and hopefully they can put points on the board so they can take the lead for the first time in this game.
And neither team has scored since the middle of the third quarter. 3 receivers on the near side for Edinboro, the tight end on the far side on the line. Moving right to left, Tomko takes the snap, hands it off to Walter Fletcher, who goes up the middle. He's got about a 5-yard gain. He'll get all the way to their own 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Edinboro.
Always a good job by Fletcher, just finding the hole. Gain some big yards, now it's 2nd and 5.
Edinboro picking up the tempo. 3 receivers near side again, tight end far side, hands the ball off to Fletcher again up the middle. He gets hit hard by Martell Davis, that redshirt senior defensive back, but he does get enough for a first down. So they will, from their own 30 after the chains move, continue here as the clock ticking away, just over 6 minutes to go in this game. Now, as with the ball placed on the near hash, the 3 receivers will move over to the far side of the field. The tight end now on the near side. They send the inside receiver in motion, but hand the ball off to Walter Fletcher, who goes through the line on the right-hand side. He gets about 3 yards on the play. He'll get down to the 33-yard line. Be 2nd and 7 with under 6 minutes to go now.
Yeah, they keep just like run the football to burn some clock a bit and hopefully go to Gannon's territory and maybe take a field goal if they can to win the game.
They've got to stay in control of this game and hold on to this ball as long as they can. They get the play from the sideline. They'll have 2 receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side, and the tight end in on the line on the far side. That far side receiver in motion. Tomko takes a snap, drops back for a pass, doesn't see anyone open. He's going to throw deep. This time he will get it out of bounds. He'll make sure of that. And so it'll be incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 6 from Edinboro's 34-yard line here. Still tied at 24 with 5 minutes to go in the game.
They have to convert the 3rd down right now if they want to keep this drive alive and hopefully put points on the board to take the lead.
And they're not in the kind of field position where they could risk going for it on the 4th down. They still might, but it'd be tough. 3 receivers far side, 1 near side for Edinboro. Tomko takes the snap. He's looking for a pass on the right-hand side. Doesn't see who he wants open, but does make a contact on the sideline at midfield. That is Andre Dowdell Jr., who is freed to the 35 all the way down to the 30 before getting brought down. A huge reception for the Fighting Scots.
That is a huge pass play. DeAndre Dowdell all by himself in the middle of midfield. Here Edinboro's sideline made a incredible catch and gained more yards after he made the reception. Now Edinboro's at about the 31-yard line in Gannon's territory. I think Edinboro's knocking on the door against the Golden Knights.
3 receivers near side, 1 far side for Tomko. Fletcher in at his left, inside Gannon's 30. 4.5 minutes to go. Hands the ball off to Kyle Galick, who's in the game instead of Walter Fletcher. Gets around the corner in a gain of about 1 yard before getting brought down at Gannon's 28-yard line.
Galick was running on the outside just to find some open gaps, but I think he was tackled by number 31, Reginald Hamlet Jr., and a good tackle there. Only gained about 2 yards on the play.
3 receivers near side, 1 far side. Tomko motions to A.J. Turner, the tight end, says, hey, you're supposed to be on the line. Tomko hands the ball off to Walter Fletcher this time, gets through the line in a couple of yards. He'll get about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 7, or 3rd and 6 for Edinboro at Gannon's 24-yard line. 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go in the game, tied at 24. Edinboro looking to take the lead here. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. The tight end on the line on the far side. The far side receiver in motion. He'll get all the way to the near side. Tomko will not snap the ball. Looks like they'll reset. Hoping to catch the defense off guard. Tomko will take the snap, hand it off to Walter Fletcher, who's through the line, and it gets a few yards before getting hit and falling forward. It is close. He's gotten down inside Gannon's 20, and it will be enough for a first down.
Yeah, I see like one ref on the far side saying that Fletcher did get enough for the first down, and the other on the near side say like he may just fell short, but I'm glad that Walter Fletcher gained enough for a first down and to keep this ball going with less than 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
From Gannon's 19, inside the red zone now. Edinboro hasn't been here in a long time. This game, 2 receivers near side, 1 far side, the tight end on the line on the far side. Fletcher in at Tomko's left. He sends the far side receiver in motion again. Tomko takes the snap, hands the ball off to Walter Fletcher, who gets hit by his own lineman while going through the line. He'll get a couple yards, maybe 2 on the play. Be 2nd and 8 from Gannon's 16-yard line on the next play.
Yeah, Walter came to a halt, like right about the 16-yard line, like you said. At least he gains just a few yards just to keep the ball moving forward towards the end zone.
The clock ticking away now. Just over 2 minutes to go. Now at 2 minutes with the clock running. Tied at 24. 2 receivers near, 1 far. Far side receiver in motion. Now on the near side, Tomko will fake the handoff to Walter Fletcher, keep it himself, but get hit at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So it will be 3rd and 7 from the 16-yard line. And earlier today, we saw Jake Monroe kick his first career field goal for Edinboro with the ball placed at the 15. So certainly this within range. We will just have to see if it comes down to that. Edinboro, or Gannon, taking a timeout here. They have just 1 left.
And support for WFSC is provided by the Edinboro Hotel Bar, serving a variety of lunch and dinner items every day from their location at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinboro. Information is at 814-734-5103 or online at EdinboroHotelBar.com.
And it looks like there's an Edinboro player on the turf on the far sideline. That's Edinboro's sideline, the far one. So we will pause for that. We're actually going to go ahead and take a quick 30-second break here. We'll be right back. You are listening to 88.9 WFSC Fighting Scots Radio.
Here in the United States, our freedom and safety are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military, first responders, and their families. The Gary Sinise Foundation shows its gratitude through concerts and festivals at bases around the globe, community outreach programs across the country, and building brand new custom smart homes for our most severely wounded veterans. Find out how you can join the cause. Donate at GarySineseFoundation.org.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, where have you been? This is homecoming weekend. You should have known there was a football game. The Edinboro Fighting Scots are hosting the Gannon Golden Knights for their homecoming football game, and so far they have given this packed crowd their money's worth. Unless you're a student and you didn't pay to get in, but still, then you definitely got your money's worth because you got a free football game, and it's been crazy. There's a minute 46 left in this game. The game is tied at 24 after some back-and-forth action. Nobody has scored since the third quarter, but Edinboro threatening from the 16-yard line. 3rd and 7, 2 receivers either side. Walter Fletcher to Tomko's left, looks for the pass. A.J. Turner, the tight end, absolutely nobody covering him, takes the reception inside the end zone. That's a touchdown for Edinboro.
Gannon's defense thought they're going to throw it to James Clark, and that was perfect by A.J. Turner all by himself. Another incredible touchdown catch. That is his second today. And finally, for the first time in this game, the Fighting Scots have taken the lead 30-24 with 1 minute and 43 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
And absolutely incredible. And like you said, Turner's second touchdown reception of the game, and that's because Edinboro knows that Gannon's going to be focusing on James Clark in these high-pressure situations. Jake Monroe's point after attempt is good. It is 31-24. Edinboro has taken the lead here with under 2 minutes to go. And what an incredible play by the Edinboro offense, and that's exactly what they needed on that 3rd and 7 play. They needed that conversion. They not only got the first down, they got the touchdown.
Yeah, a touchdown is better than a first down, and it's better than a field goal. Now, all Edinboro has to do for their defense, contain one last drive against the Golden Knights and get the big win to go 4-1 to start the season.
Yeah, they have to hold Gannon's offense here. And Gannon's offense is going to bring everything they can at Edinboro, but they need to find a way to stop them.
Supporters of WFSC includes John Wildwood Pizzeria, featuring a selection of pizza, hoagies, wings, salads, and more. John's is open daily at 105 Erie Street in Edinboro. Information is at 814-734-7355 or on the web at johnswildwoodpizza.com.
Jake Monroe, who we just saw cap off that huge touchdown with the extra point, he's on for the kickoff duties here from the near hash. His kick, a low line drive towards the sideline, and it will go out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. I was so close to being a touchback, but the flag thrown for it going out of bounds, and Gannon will most likely start their drive from their own 35.
I just hope that penalty doesn't come to haunt back to Edinboro. All they need, just like I said before, they have to contain the Golden Knights offense one more time, including against Marcus Jones, who's been like attacking the run all day long.
Gannon comes out to start this huge drive. 2 receivers on the far side, 2 on the near side. Marcus Jones in at Jason Dombach's left hip. Dombach taking his time at the line as he has done so often today. Takes a snap, looks towards the near sideline, doesn't see anyone open, looks to the far sideline. He might just have to keep it himself. He's at the line of scrimmage and maybe a couple of yards. It looks like he probably picked up 4 yards on the play. But there's a lot of, let's say, conversation going on the sideline after Dombach got pushed out.
And a smart play by Dombach, running out of bounds to save much time as he can for the Golden Knights. And like you said, they gained 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6 at the 39-yard line in their own territory.
They come out, 2 receivers either side. Marcus Jones in at Dombach's left. Dombach takes the snap, drops back for a pass. He's looking towards the near sideline. There's pressure. He's being wrapped up. And a last-minute attempt tries to pitch it to a lineman. It gets fumbled, but it looks like Gannon has fallen on it. The referee's trying to clear the dog pile here, trying to see who has the ball, and those piles can be tough, especially if you're at the bottom. At the last minute,
and it's Edinboro football.
Edinboro with the fumble recovery, and that is huge.
That is huge.
That pressure brought on by Edinboro's defensive line, which has been extremely dominant this entire season, and especially today, forcing the pressure, forcing the fumble, and Brandon Anderson comes out of the dog pile saying, "I am your champion, I have the ball." With 1:21 left, Edinboro leading 31-24. That is exactly the break they needed.
And all they have to do is just run the clock. That's all you have to do. Besides, they're in like a 35-yard, about the 30-yard line in Gannon's territory.
Gannon only has one of their timeouts left, so Edinboro should just have to take a couple knees to be able to finish out this game. While we await the referees talking over that possible fumble situation there, we would like to, of course, thank you for listening every week like you do. We know you're loyal listeners and you listen every week whether you're at the game or not, whether we're away or whether we're home. We also would like to thank our underwriters for supporting us, and we'd like to thank Sarah Cashone, who's back in the studio running the board for us.
The referee said it's an incomplete pass. So Gannon still gets the football, and that's a lucky break for the Golden Knights. And now the offensive Gannon will be back on the field, and Edinboro's defense will be back on the field. It'll be 3rd down and 6. So,
yeah, we mentioned on that play, at the last minute, Dombach tried to pitch the ball to anyone around him, and the referees ultimately deciding that was an intentional pitch, and it was forward, and thus had to be an incomplete pass and couldn't have been a fumble. Head coach Wayne Bradford of the Fighting Scots is on their sideline seeking an explanation, and I'm sure offering a rebuttal to whatever the explanation is from the referees. I don't believe, no matter what they say, he will be satisfied with it, but that's understandable seeing as how they were so close to just being able to take a few knees to end this game. With 1:21 left, it'll be 3rd and 6 for Gannon, and Edinboro is going to go ahead and take a timeout.
Programming on WFSC is supported in part by John's Wildwood Pizzeria, open daily at 105 Erie Street in Edinboro. John's menu features a selection of pizza, hoagies, wings, salads, and more. Information is at 814-734-7355 or on the web at johnswildwoodpizza.com.
So after talking it over with the referees, Edinboro going to go ahead and take a few more moments to get their defense collected, recenter. The ball will be played from Gannon's own 39-yard line, 3rd and 6. They need to traverse the field with less than a minute and a half left to go. This has been quite the action-packed game. And Edinboro, like Luke mentioned at the time, finally taking the lead, tasting the lead, and looking to hold on to it here to finish the game. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter where the score was throughout the game. It just matters how you finish. And Edinboro hoping they finish this game 7 points ahead. There is some more conversation, this time on Gannon's sideline, as their coach telling the referees something. And he's going to request that the game clock be adjusted from 1:21 to 1:24. I guess that was at least what Gannon believes the time on the clock when the incomplete pass happened. The extra 3 seconds, I guess, was awarded when Edinboro was attempting to recover it. So Gannon comes out, 3 receivers near side, 1 far side, trying to march left to right from their own 39-yard line. Dombach takes the snap, looks for the pass. He throws behind his intended receiver, Nico Law, the redshirt junior. It'll be incomplete, and it'll be 4th and 6. And if that incomplete / maybe a fumble play wasn't the biggest play of the game, this is right here.
Yeah, this is 4th down play. This looks like the last play for the Golden Knights. One last chance for Gannon. And if they couldn't convert this, then Edinboro will win the football game. They will just run the clock.
2 receivers either side for Gannon. Marcus Jones in at Dombach's left. Edinboro's crowd getting into this game, trying to raise the pressure on this 4th down play. Dombach takes the snap, looks for the pass, throws low. The pass is incomplete, bobbled on the ground. Brandon Anderson there to help make sure that pass was not completed. It's a turnover on downs in Gannon's own territory with just 1:18 left. in the game, and Edinboro still leading 31-24.
Now that Edinboro got the football back, they can finally run the clock, and they'll be expecting Gannon to call their final timeout, and like you say, get a couple knees to end the game.
Edinboro's offense making their way back out onto the field. In a victory formation, Tomko will field the snap cleanly and take a knee, and we will get that timeout from Gannon, their last of the game, with 1:16 left.
Supporters of WFSC include Bonnell's Auto Group, featuring collision services in Erie and Fairview, auto glass replacement and repair in Fairview, auto sales in Erie and Fairview, and full rod shop services and restoration in Fairview. Information on each service is on the web at bonnellsauto.com.
So with the clock stopped here, 1:16, the referee's mic staying hot a little bit longer than he intended to. We almost caught an interesting conversation. 1:16 left in this game. Edinboro would simply attempt to run out the clock. They have a 2nd and 12 after the knee, leading 31-24. And Edinboro, with that huge stop on 4th down, with the lead that they acquired late in this 4th quarter, they will take the knee. A little bit of pressure coming from Gannon. You don't see that often on a kneel play, but the knee is taken successfully, and the clock will begin ticking away, and Edinboro's victory that much closer. The Edinboro sideline attempting to get the crowd a little bit excited here. I mean, this is an Edinboro victory here. Their first PSAC West win, and continuing the tradition of defeating Gannon on homecoming. If they win today, they will be 5-0 against Gannon on homecoming games and 9-4 overall against Gannon. Another knee taken by Andrew Tomko, and with 40 seconds on the play clock and less than that on the game clock, Edinboro has officially secured their victory over Erie County rival, the Gannon Golden Knights.
And that is a huge win for the Flying Scots. And what I'm happy about it is they didn't quit, and just because they punted the football a lot of times in the second half, it doesn't mean that they're going to lose the football game. Because some way, somehow, they scored a touchdown, and they took the lead for the first time in today's game. And they defeated the Golden Knights for the 9th time in this series with a final score of 31-24. The Flying Scots are now 4-1. They are 1-1 in the PSAC West. Unfortunately for the Golden Knights of Gannon, they are still winless, 0-5, and they are 0-2 in the PSAC West.
And it was so great to see Edinboro's offense rebound after last week. They put up over 300 yards of offense in this game, and Walter Fletcher, the running back for Edinboro, returning to his legendary ways. This is his 4th game this season out of 5 that he rushed for at least 100 yards. He had 109 yards on just 7 carries. That's an average of just over 15 yards per carry. An incredible performance from Fletcher today.
And looking at the statistics, Andrew Tomko, 15 out of 27 passes for 244 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Walter Fletcher carried the ball 25 times for 111 yards with 1 touchdown. And speaking of Fletcher, he caught 7 passes for 109 yards. James Clark made 4 receptions for 60 yards and 1 touchdown. A.J. Turner caught 2 passes for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns, including that game-winning touchdown late in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, A.J. Turner with some huge touchdowns for Edinboro. And like I said, what makes those passes so successful is simply knowing that James Clark is such a threat to other teams that they will defend him more heavily than even the receiver standing just off to his side, that slot receiver, which was A.J. Turner on those 2 touchdown receptions. Very similar to each other, very similar plays, an absolutely incredible performance by Edinboro's offense today, and the defense just as good. 80 tackles by the defense, 22 of them solo tackles. No sacks for Edinboro in this game, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for them, but still 6 tackles for loss coming out of Edinboro's defense. A great performance from them as well.
And looking over some team statistics at the end of the game, the Fighting Scots had 346 total yards. The Golden Knights had 277. The Fighting Scots nailed the Golden Knights with first downs, 21-20. Edinboro completed 50% of third down conversions, while the Golden Knights were 5 for 14. Gannon was 0 for 3 on fourth down conversions today, and the total plays are almost similar. The Golden Knights have 70, and Edinboro has 69. And both teams are perfect for the red zone. Gannon 3 for 3, and Edinboro 5 for 5.
And as the marching band plays the alma mater for the Fighting Scots that were collected in front of the stands, Edinboro once again coming away victorious today, 31-24. We'd like to once again thank our underwriters. We'd like to thank Sarah Cashone back in the studio running the board for us, taking the time out of her day. We really appreciate her. And of course, we appreciate you guys, the listeners, for tuning in. If you're still here, we appreciate you even more. We would like to bid you adieu one more time from Sox Harrison Stadium. You have been listening to live coverage of the Fighting Scots on 88.9 WFSC Fighting Scots Radio.